It is a glorious day for football in Central New York. Here's Greg Robinson on your right. Don McPherson for the 87 team. It's the quad walk here at Syracuse. Big East football on tap as the 13th ranked West Virginia Mountaineers are in town. Pat White, will he start? We're going to find out in a couple of seconds as West Virginia meets Syracuse. Welcome inside the Carrier Dome. This is Big East football. Today it's the West Virginia Mountaineers trying to rebound from a loss last week in South Florida, taking on the suddenly explosive Syracuse Orange. And the Orange getting ready to take the field on Legends Day here at the Carrier Dome. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Sims along with John Kinjemi. Glad to be back on Big East football. And today we look at a West Virginia ball club. Lost to South Florida last week, but the big news coming out of that, their quarterback, Pat White, suffered a thigh bruise. John, will he go today?
Well, that's the big question. It's a game-time decision, and it's great to have you back in the starting lineup, but it's a big thing for West Virginia to have Pat White back in the lineup today. I believe he'll start today because of his toughness, and Pat's electrifying. He can change the pace and tempo of a football game with one big play. But if he can't go, the offense will be led by sophomore Jared Brown. Big, strong-arm quarterback with great size at 6'4", 220 pounds. It's definitely an asset, Dave, to have Brown as your starting quarterback because the offense doesn't change. He can run it on the edge, and he can definitely throw it out of the pocket.
Syracuse has a win on the road at Louisville under its belt. How did they do it? Explosive, big plays through the air. With more on that, here's Syracuse style.
Thanks, Dave. Well, guys, if Syracuse wants to walk out of the Carrier Dome today with a win, they're going to need some big-time performances from their playmakers, Taj Smith and Mike Williams. The two wideouts each bring a little something different to the table for this Orange team. Smith is a quick-twitch guy with jet speed, while Williams is strong, physical, and explosive jumper. Boys coach calls his two receivers the jitterbug and sledgehammer. Regardless of the approach, I guarantee they'll be called upon to help get it done for Cuse today. Dave?
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. We look forward to your reports down on the sideline. We've got a full plate for you today here at Syracuse, everybody. We'll revisit with the 87 Sugar Bowl team. They won unbeaten and took on Auburn in the Sugar Bowl. Jamel McLean's going to take us around Syracuse. Some great work there. And in Kinjemi's corner, it's Owen Schmidt, the folk hero from West Virginia. All ahead next on Big East football. Today's ESPN Plus game is brought to you by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. Allstate, proud sponsors of college football. Are you in good hands? Holiday Inn Express. Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express. PNC leading the way. And by Verizon Wireless. Beautiful day here in Syracuse, and the fans are ready for some action inside the Carrier Dome. Syracuse Orange will receive the opening kickoff. West Virginia won the toss and deferred. So the Orange will get the ball first. 55th meeting between these clubs, and up for grabs the Schwartzwalder Trophy as we look at a Syracuse club that is getting it done in returning kicks. Max Suter got a 93-yard TD return at Louisville to his credit so far. First kickoff return for the Orange for touchdown since 1998. That earned Max Suter Special Teams Player of the Week. Pat McAfee has it teed up. Junior from Plum, Pennsylvania. And here we go. Syracuse and West Virginia, high short kick. Running up to get it, Mike Holmes. 25, and that'll about do it right there at the 27-yard line. A return of 12 yards as Charles Pugh makes the tackle. Andrew Robinson having an outstanding season. Third in the Big East in yards per game.
And Dave, this is a guy that loves to compete, and the team really rallies around what he does. He's not a guy that points fingers. He's a total package, tough, smart. He's a winner.
They've done it through the air with big post patterns and fly patterns, and West Virginia very sensitive to that. 109 in pass defense last year. They've markedly improved, and they are laying in wait for the Syracuse air game today. First play action. They're looking for something and nothing there. Robinson takes it down, picks up the first down and more to the 41-yard line. First down, Syracuse on a gain of 14. Keelan Dykes, the nose tackle, makes the stop. Along with Robinson, the gentlemen who will be getting their hands on the ball today, look for Curtis Brinkley. If they're going to get any kind of running game, it's going to be through him. Williams and Smith, game breakers, and Nestriot, a pretty dependable tight end. Up front, Carroll Matterson is their most experienced offensive lineman. 1st and 10 Orange at the 41. All kinds of movement. Robinson airing it out. He's going deep right sideline, incomplete. As he tried to get it to Taj Smith. There'll be no play on that. One thing that Robinson has established, he can throw the deep ball.
Well, he has great poise in the pocket, and I think he has good timing in the pass offense. And with those two big play receivers that Sarah talked about early in the broadcast in the open with Mike Williams and Smith on the other side, those are guys you want to get the football down the field to.
Offside. Number 96, defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Keelan Dykes was offsides. And speaking of Mr. Dykes, he is a first-team All-Big East performer from a year ago, a 4-year starter. He makes it easy for these linebackers. They were able to roam free. And in the secondary, yeah, they got a chip on their shoulder. 109th last year, and everybody reminds them of it. So they are looking to get, and they have improved that in that department of pass defense.
Nice start for Syracuse, though. Last week against Miami of Ohio, there were 6 3-and-outs, and they had possession of the football 14 times, Dave, 8 times 3 plays or fewer.
West Virginia, with that penalty, put Syracuse 1st and 5 at the 46. Brinkley's first touch off tackle, picks up about 3, maybe 4 yards, brought down by Keelan Dykes, the nose tackle. Coach Greg Robinson in his 3rd year, 6 and 22, a 2 and 13 Big East record. 35 of his recruits have played so far here in the 07 campaign.
Real engaging guy to talk with, and he has a saying, empty your tank today against West Virginia. And they're going to have to do that in all 3 facets of the game to get a victory.
Were you surprised that West Virginia decided to give Syracuse the ball to start?
Yeah, I was. I thought they may want to come out and try to put points on the board and let their defense come out with a decent field position, but Syracuse trying to put something together.
Robinson saw something that didn't mesh with the play that he had called, so he burns the first time out. So Robinson going to talk to Coach Robinson.
You know, doing that Louisville game and having Andrew Robinson have such a big day. I mean, he had career highs in that game with 423 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and last week, not a bad performance. He had 2 touchdowns, 236 yards. They just didn't take advantage of their opportunities, Dave, and I think once it didn't happen early, when the defense turned the football over for them and they didn't have success, I think they started to press. And when you start to press, somebody will jump offside. You'll drop a ball on first down, and things kind of multiply that way.
West Virginia in the series, 30 wins, 24 losses. They've won 5 consecutive games by an average of 18 points against the Syracuse Orange. Here's Robinson looking to throw. Tip, intercepted. West Virginia's got the ball in sideline. Ryan Mundy. Mundy keeps it alive and takes it inside the 40. West Virginia takes over a 20-yard return. Mundy's 2nd interception of the season.
Mundy's the guy on the spot for the Mountaineers secondary. A great job. He's the transfer from Michigan, making a big difference for the Mountaineers in that secondary. Just a tip ball. Robinson actually threw a nice pass. It's a double slant. First guy's going to clear. Second guy's going to expect the ball. A tip ball off Eric Weeks right into the hands of Ryan Mundy, and it's a good job. There's a throwing lane there, but Weeks gets the tip ball because Smith doesn't clear. If Smith clears on that pass pattern, there's a throwing lane for Andrew Robinson.
There's Pat White. He is starting. West Virginia, beautiful field position at the 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Little bubble screen. They get it outside to Renaud. He's got yardage, stays alive. He's got a first down on the far side for the Mountaineers. Brought down by Nick Chestnut, a gain of 12. Pat White, Big East Offensive Player of the Year last year. He's out of Daphne, Alabama. And he has improved, John, markedly in his passing ability. A great runner, but now formidable thrower.
Yeah, when you think of Pat White, you think of explosive plays, and he's done a good job of managing the offense through the air. Big plays on the ground.
1st and 10, 25-yard line. Slayton gets the carry. Slayton, 15-10, inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, West Virginia. Nick Chestnut on the stop, rambling for 18 yards.
Steve Slayton, once he finds a hole north and south, you have to watch out for his speed. Watch him turn his shoulders towards the goal line and finish the run. He's healthier and stronger now than he was last season.
That's an offense and a ball club. The West Virginia team, talked about chip on its shoulder. Talked about the defensive unit. How about the entire team? Here's White, looks like a busted play, but his speed, can he make something out of it? He gets to the corner, picks up about 2, run out of bounds by Dwayne Davis. Patrick White having some words with Davis. Very short sidelines here. It's dangerous. You got to really be careful. You have to do a good job of throttling down as you get to the sideline.
And Dave, in this situation, you have to watch for Wes Lyons. He's a sophomore receiver for the Mountaineers. Top of your screen, 6'8", 220 pounds. Just throw it up and give him a chance.
And the coaches say he's got great ball skills. Knows how to go get it. First possession by West Virginia, and that timing throw just a little bit off. The left side of the line, Stanchek and his Danner, they took off way too soon.
79 on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Remains 2nd down.
Tom Tomczyk, the referee this afternoon here at the Carrier Dome. We take a look at the West Virginia offensive folks. Jock Sanders, look for him. Darryl Jallo's done a great job. Lyons, John talked about him. Slayton and Renaud have great speed. This is a team that can really move it. Stanchek at the left tackle is their most experienced player. This will be a 2nd down and goal from the 13-yard line. On count by Patrick White. Quarterback draw with room. Lowers the shoulder and bangs his way down to about the 8-yard line. Brought down by Jake Flaherty, the middle linebacker. Gain of 6.
When you go empty backfield, Dave, Patrick White, just quarterback, it gives him plenty of room to take it up. Sorry, Case, I didn't know you were going.
Rich Rodriguez signaling into place. Just underway. Syracuse crowd on its feet. 3rd down and goal from the 7. Owen Schmitz in the backfield with Slayton. Joining White. Play clock at 5. Play clock at 2. Take the snap. Option. Schmitz got it. He's in. Touchdown, West Virginia. Boy, when you absolutely have to honor the fake on the dive to Slayton, and Schmitty's wide open.
Well, Dave, it just shows you the versatility of this Mountaineer offense when you can have your fullback or your best player on the team fake the dive. Your Heisman Trophy hopeful fakes the dive, and then Schmitz going out on the outside with an island. Patrick White dishes him the easy pitch and catch, and it's 6 points for the Mountaineers, and they capitalize on the turnover.
So the TO proves to be a good one for West Virginia as Pat McAfee bangs through yet another extra point. He's only missed 2 in his career. Pat White making it look easy. A 37-yard drive in 5 plays. Mountaineers on top. Well, there's the guy that made it happen. Ryan Mundy with his 2nd INT of the season. Set up West Virginia in great field position. A 5-play, 37-yard drive. Owen Schmidt capped it off with the short TD run. And for Schmitty, his first running touchdown of the season.
And Pat White, no questions about him, Dave. He looked great on that first series.
Max Suitors deep to receive. See if McAfee kicks it away from him again. High, short kick. And it's going to be Holmes again at the 25, looking for room. Can't find it. Trying to stretch it out. If he can turn the corner, he's got something. He does. 45. Stop. Beautifully done. Return to the 46-yard line of West Virginia. Brought down by Sidney Glover. What a return by Mike Holmes, a 40-yard return.
Talk about effort. Mike Holmes delivers right there in a big way. The freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. Tries to go up the left side, the short side, but actually runs into one of his own special teams members. Tries to kick it outside, and then you see him throw it into second and third gear around the 50-yard line, cuts it back, and gets a couple more yards. Great effort by the freshman.
Boy, he totally outran John Holmes, number 1 for the Mountaineers. Up the middle, Brinkley. Nice surge. Picks up 6. Brought down by Mark Magro. Brinkley, junior out of West Catholic in Philadelphia, only averaging 2.6 yards per carry.
Well, Dave, there's no secret about Syracuse and their chances of winning today. They must run the football, and that's what offensive coordinator Brian Wright said to us yesterday. They must run the football because that opens up some play-action pass after that.
Far side, they put their 2 big play guys, Williams and Smith, top of your screen. Out of the eye, and a second and short. Brinkley for a couple. He's going to be about a yard short of a first down. Keelan Dykes is there along with Johnny Dingle, a couple of the D linemen. Brian White down on the field making the calls.
Yeah, very nice guy to talk with, very forthcoming on what they wanted to do today, but they have to correct the running game. That's the biggest thing. That offensive line needs to win some battles, especially on 3rd and 1 here in this situation, to keep the chains going.
Syracuse has converted only 6 of 14 on 3rd and 1 this season. That's 43%. Brinkley, nice surge again. He's got the first down inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. First down, Syracuse. And we saw this O-line last year, John. Remember that they gave up a bunch of sacks, and Terry Patterson was running for his life, and they never really were able to establish the run game. Brinkley and DeLon Carter, who they missed this year because of a hip injury.
Yeah, they weren't able to get any rhythm, and they never really played as 5 up front. Now they're getting a little bit of success early. They have to continue on and try to cash it in.
Here's their pistol formation. Robinson, screen. And he gets it to Taj Smith inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Antonio Lewis making the stop. Gain of 4. Lewis, a junior, out of Waldorf, Maryland.
Dave, that had a potential to really go for a lot more yards than 6 yards or on the play. They had a good job of getting a hat on a hat. You'll see everybody come out and attack someone. But right there, if he can cut it up north and south in the middle of the football field, he would have had a little bit better chance of getting the first down.
Well, you saw Jim McKenzie, center, lost his helmet on that play. 2nd down, 6. Brinkley cut it back. He does the cut back very nicely. Accelerates to the 21-yard line. First down, Syracuse. Brought down by Mark Magro with help from Ryan Monday. Gain of 8.
Dave, great vision by Curtis Brinkley. You called it. The cutback was there. The offensive line did a good job of washing everybody down to the right side. Brinkley saw it, cut it back inside the hashes, and had enough yards for the first down.
Were you surprised how they're moving on this West Virginia defensive unit?
Yeah, a little bit with ease on the ground.
West Virginia giving up just 97 yards, and that play didn't go anywhere. Brinkley, 5 carries for 23 yards.
Boy, great job by Larry Norton, the right tackle, to get on that football. Bad exchange by quarterback and center, but this running attack for Syracuse is having some success early against the Mountaineer defense, and they need to. This team is 118th out of 119 teams in rushing in the NCAA stats, and they're 8th in the Big East in total offense. They haven't done a good job of getting that either, 113th in the country, but they're having early success. They just can't stop themselves here.
Lose a yard, 2nd down and 11. Brinkley again. Finds a little bit of room. Got to about the 18-yard line. Magro's there, along with Johnny Dingle. So Brinkley, number 2 in rushing on the Syracuse Ball Club last year to Carter. He ran for 1,110 yards total and all-purpose yardage.
Dave, this is where you want to look for your playmakers on the outside. Williams and Smith, and you have Neshwa, the tight end, on the short side.
Paul Chiara's in the game. Robinson looks left, throws left, and it's caught. That's a first down inside the 10-yard line. Mike Williams, a 10-yard gain. Robinson got it off quickly. And they're doing a nice job against this secondary of West Virginia.
Well, they're doing a great job of spreading everybody out. You're going to see the quick slant just come inside and beat the defense to the point of the attack. Right there, coming underneath in the bunch set, trips left. They come right underneath to Williams. Speed will beat you every time, and that's good timing by the quarterback, Robinson.
Brinkley's in the game. He'll get the carry. Big yardage to the 1-yard line. Curtis Brinkley just outside the goal line for the Syracuse Orange. In the red zone on the season, the Orange 7 possessions, 4 touchdowns, and 1 field goal, a turnover and a miss.
Nice job by the offensive line, Dave. A hat on a hat. You see Brinkley hits the crease. He just can't get past Quentin Andrews. He hit him about the 3, carried him to the 1, but the Orange are knocking on the door.
Great block by number 69, Larry Norton, the right tackle. Now movement. Keelan Dykes has already been called for an offsides.
Prior to the snap, offside. Number 96 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, remains second down.
So the leader on this defensive unit, Keelan Dykes out of Youngstown, Ohio, went to Cheney High School. The Rich Rodriguez's ball club, a couple penalties on him here in the early going.
If you're Rich Rodriguez, you have to question how Syracuse couldn't move the football effectively last week against Miami of Ohio, but with ease today against his Mountaineers.
Here's Robinson, next route in motion. Robinson gives to Brinkley, dives, he's in, touchdown Syracuse. So the Orange on the board. It's a 7-6 ball game. Boy, that was a very quick and effective response to the West Virginia touchdown.
The Orange comes back and answers, and Curtis Brinkley goes over the top from the 1. Great job of getting elevation. Good contact at the point of attack. Good block by Fedemia, the fullback, and then it's just air time, hang time for Curtis Brinkley.
With Brinkley, his first rushing touchdown. Patrick Shadle for the point after. The hold, John Baker. And the snappers, Ian Hammond. 10 plays, 45 yards, and 5:21 for the Syracuse Orange. Snap placement. And the kick is good. How about this? Syracuse, almost a 4-touchdown underdog to the Mountaineers of West Virginia. We have a 7-7 ball game as Curtis Brinkley gets on the board, going airborne here at the Carrier Dome. Quick response by the Syracuse Orange against the 13th ranked Mountaineers of West Virginia. 10-play, 45-yard drive in 5:21 and a 40-yard kickoff return and a big conversion of a 3rd down and 6 at the 19. Brinkley, big numbers. 7 rushes, 28 yards, his first touchdown on the ground this season. Patrick Shadle, who's a native of Morgantown, West Virginia, the home of WVU, he's going to kick off. Gets into it. Noel Devine, look out, he's got serious speed. He can find a crack. Oh, he got a face full of Orangemen there at the 22-yard line. Bruce Williams, what a tackle. Send it back downstairs to Syracuse.
Dave, explosive touchdown we saw for Curtis Brinkley there, and he lost his father November 21st in 2005 after a 7-year battle with lymphoma. It was the reason why Curtis chose to go to Syracuse and said his father remains his motivation on a daily basis, whereas his father lives strong bracelet and games, write notes about him, such as "I got you, Dad" on his wrist. Dave, Brinkley's playing for something bigger than just the game.
Here, here. Thank you, Sarah. Here's West Virginia now in a 7-7 ball game. White, it opens up, and he gets through it. Maintains his balance. And taken out by Dwayne Davis. An explosive play by the quarterback, Patrick White, a gain of 15. First down, West Virginia.
Amazing how Pat White can make a bad play into a good play. He wants to throw the screen to his left after the play fake, and now it turns into an option, and he's got great feet, and he looks 100% today with even that thigh bruise from last week.
Got to tie his shoe right now. Play clock, he's in good shape. He's got 17 seconds. Schmidt to his right. Play clock at 6. White's going to keep it. Look out. Here's Schmidt. He's a wrecking ball going downfield. Jamel McLean, number 52, runs him out of bounds. A 3-yard pickup. Well, last week, White, in that loss to South Florida, here's how he got injured and had to leave the game. It was a thigh bruise against the South Florida Bulls. And it took him out. Jared Brown, beg your pardon, had to come in and finish out the game. And that was a big loss. Plus, you had all the turnovers that the Mountaineers made last week, and a big part of their loss to the Bulls of South Florida. There's Schmidt. First down. Syracuse side of the ball field now at the 49.
I'm sorry. Well, Patrick White, he's a guy that gets better as the game goes on. He's electrifying. He can make plays with his legs, and he doesn't get a lot of credit for the way he can throw the football. I think he's gotten better from last year to this year in throwing the football.
First down for the Mountaineers. Get it out to Slayton in space. Got a pretty good block by Jallo. And a good pickup, run out of bounds by Dwayne Davis. Pickup of 8. Dangerous, dangerous ball club. Time now for a look at our game-changing performer. Brought to you by Pontiac. And why not focus in on Steve Slayton. First team All-Big East performer last year. First returning consensus All-American running back ever at West Virginia. Run left, breaks a tackle, look out. He's strong too. Got the first down and more. Picks up 8. Tough inside outside running by Slayton, 5'9", of 190 junior out of the Philadelphia suburbs of Levittown, Pennsylvania.
And Dave, that's a run that should lose 2 yards. But with the strength and the size and the speed of Steve Slayton, he breaks the initial tackle behind the line of scrimmage and then is able to pick up 8 yards. Terrific run.
Owen Schmidt got a great block on Joe Fields, the free safety. First and 10 at the 32-yard line. High snap, give it to Slayton. Found the hole again inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Picks up about 4. Brought down by Nick Santiago, number 95. Glad you could join us, everybody, for Big East football. Coming to you today from the Syracuse, for the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York, along with Sarah Kustak and John Kajemi. I'm Dave Sims. Glad you could join us. 7-7 ball game. Owen Schmidt, a 7-yard run for the Mountaineers. Curtis Brinkley, a 1-yard run for the Orange.
Dave, it might be time to air it out outside to Lyons or Reynard.
Here's White on the option, going to break it back. Got some field to play with. Nice in and out move, and he'll take it out of bounds. He picked up the first down. Joe Fields is there, the senior from Houston, to run him out of bounds, but Pat White wreaking havoc. There's a gain of 8 yards. So here's how the scoring developed so far. An interception. It goes off the hands of Taj Smith. Monday returns, and it sets up West Virginia. They go 37 yards in 5 plays. There's Schmidt, and then Brinkley answered. And that's where we are right now at 7-7. 4:28 and counting. Here in the first quarter, West Virginia knocking on the door. There's the passing game. Get it outside to Renaud. Good stiff arm on Nick Chestnut. Picks up some positive yardage far side. Picked up about 4.
Dave, he's got such great skills, does Darius Reynard, at the wide receiver position. It's like a running back out there. And he gets a lot of those yards after catch, those rack yards everybody likes to talk about. This guy has a ton of them this year.
Got 5 touchdowns on the season. He's a 5'10", 200-pound senior from Lulling, Pennsylvania. Picked up 4, second down and 6 at the 17. Gonzalez at the bottom of your screen. Will Johnson far side. And pretty good effort that time. Middle linebacker Jake Flaherty in there to make the stop, loss of a yard. Jake leads the team with 19 assists. This is just his 6th career start. Jake's a junior out of Wakefield, Rhode Island. Third down coming up as we're under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Crowd into it. Carrier Dome holds about 50,000 fans. Get it out to Slayton. Screen. Uh-oh, trouble. 10-5. He's got a 1st and goal for the Mountaineers at the 3-yard line. They put it in the hands of the playmaker, and he gets it done. Bruce Williams stops him after a gain of 16.
Great design, screenplay to the wide side. Steve Slayton does a great job of getting outside and then following his blocking. Eric Rodemer gets out, and right there, that chop block behind the line of scrimmage is able to get him that crease that he needs. He'll get up, pivot to the outside on the hash, then watch the block in front of him that takes him inside the 5.
Give it to Slayton, caught in the backfield. Fine defensive play. Arthur Jones, the sophomore from Endicott, New York, team leader. 9.5 tackles for a loss. They lose a yard on that play.
Well, Dave, if this Syracuse defense is going to stay in the game and win the football game, this defensive line has to penetrate and win the battle at the line of scrimmage. Defensive coordinator Steve Russ says this is the strength of our team, that defensive line.
West Virginia, they keep some serious pressure on you. 12th play of this drive. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the first. White will keep it, spins down to the 1. That's a heck of an option when you can stick it in the belly of Slayton. White had his helmet knocked off, and then White can carry. Not a power runner, but he's very quick.
Yeah, just a slasher, and he's got such a great first step, Dave. He can go by you with that first step because he's so explosive inside the tackles.
Middle linebacker Jake Flaherty got an ankle after being blocked by Slayton. They put the hammer in. Here's Schmitty. He's the deep back on this 3rd and 1 at the 1. 2 tight ends. Fake it to Schmidt. Keeper gonna walk in. Touchdown Mountaineers. Pat White with the score, and they made it look easy. Good blocking on the far side. Figner, Rodemoyer.
It's a great weapon when you can fake it to Owen Schmidt. He looked like a ham sandwich on a picnic table with nobody around that drew the flies, Dave, and Pat White was able to get it inside the pylon for 6.
This is an explosive offensive team as McAfee adds on the point after. How about this? A 13-play drive and 77 yards. It covers 4:25 on the clock. Mountaineers back on top 14-7 at the 2:13 mark here in the first quarter. And Pat White, another one. He makes it look so easy. His 7th rushing touchdown of the year. Manley Fieldhouse, home of the football offices, also former home of the basketball program. But look what they've done to the football area. It's magnificent. Additions over the last couple of years. 14-7. Mountaineers on top. 500 Mountaineer fans on hand here. The band 350 plus. And one of the traditions, shake those car keys at Morgantown. Bringing it up here to Central New York. McAfee to kick off. It'll be Mike Holmes. He had a great return, a 40-yarder last time he touched it. He finds a crease, he's gone. McAfee, about the only guy that can get him. Holmes shucking and diving far side, and Syracuse in business at the 24-yard line. A return of 64 yards. This Syracuse kickoff return team, John, it's the best we've seen in the Big East in a long time.
We had a 40-yarder the last time. This one goes for over 40. He was going 64 yards and a great burst of speed on the outside. McAfee does a great job for West Virginia of holding him out of the end zone.
Boy, this is the most excited I've heard a Syracuse crowd in a long time for a football game. Basketball's one thing, but they've been in the dumps of football for a while. They go trips to the bottom of your screen here.
They go screen and go.
Robinson's got time. He had time. Negro's got him and sacks him. For Mark, senior out of Morgantown, University High School, his 5th sack of the season. They lose 8 on the play. That's a big one.
Syracuse trying to go for it all on first down. The offensive line busts somebody up front, but Magro comes in from the left side. You'll see him right there, beats the block at the line of scrimmage and gets to Andrew Robinson.
So that sets Syracuse back a bit. 2nd and 17 at the 32-yard line. Put it on the ground. Brinkley for Couple. Fights his way, picks up maybe 4 on the play. Reed Williams, one of the linebackers, the top tackler on the ball club, makes the stop for the Mountaineers. He's out of Moorfield, West Virginia, junior, 6'2", 225. Eric Wicks there as well. How about Wicks, first team All Big East, unanimous last year.
Yeah, and he's starting to play a lot more consistent now the last couple of weeks and at the start of the season. 17 total tackles and 2 big interceptions on the year.
Paul Sciarra is in the game in the backfield. Moss and Williams, bottom of your screen. Smith at the top. Setting up a screen for Sciarra. Sciarra's got it and caught from behind quickly. As soon as he got his hands on the ball, they took him down. Gain of just 4 on the play. Anthony Leonard is there to make the stop.
And Dave, credit West Virginia's front 7 for disrupting the timing of that screenplay. I think the Orange had enough offensive linemen out in front for Sciarra to make a big play and even come close to a first down, but that West Virginia defense looked and smelled out that screen and did a good job of holding that offensive line up.
Shadle's going to hold John Barker for the attempt from 40 yards. Yeah, they had a game one. That's what I thought. Here comes Barker around the edge, and he got blasted. That's what I thought. I saw Shadle as the holder. I knew something was up. Reed Williams makes the stop. They gave it a try. A little trickeration. The best was LSU, though.
Oh, that was terrific.
The holder took the snap, threw it over his head to the kicker, who got an angle and scored.
Well, you called it, Dave. You saw Shadle in. Just gave it away a little bit too soon, and Ryan Mundy getting on the edge, gets help on the inside as well. Good job by the special teams unit for West Virginia.
So the holder and kicker reverse roles as Greg Robinson trying to pull a little rabbit out of the old hat there. That's the end of the first quarter here at Syracuse. Big East football. Good start. West Virginia 13th ranked. Owen Schmidt and the boys lead at 14-7 over the Orange. Glad you could join us, everybody, for Big East football today from Central New York. We're in Syracuse. Mountaineers of West Virginia, 13th ranked, taking on the Syracuse Orange, 14-7 as we head to the second quarter. Pat White did start, and he's having a fine day. 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers at their own 20. White looking to throw, and he's got time. Deep out. And almost intercepted. It went through the hands of the intended receiver, Wes Lyons, and Nick Chestnut also got a touch as well. Boy, Lyons is 6'8". That tells you how high that ball was.
Yeah, it's tough to overthrow Wes Lyons at 6'8", but Pat steps into this, just gets it up in the air. Not a good ball, and he'll be the first one to admit it, but almost picking it off was the Syracuse secondary right there. Good job by the cornerback, Nick Chestnut, to try to get his hands on it, but Wes Lyons wide open. I'm sure Pat would like that one back.
First incompletion for White today. 4 for 5. He'll keep it. He does well to get that yardage. As Syracuse had that well scouted out. Nick Santiago is there along with Lee Williams, 55 and 92. There's Lee.
Patrick White's been spectacular this afternoon. He's done it all with his legs. Great balance there. And we talked about him in the open. The pace and the tempo of Pat White at quarterback can change the complexion of the game with one play. You cannot coach or teach speed. Pat White's got that, and he's leading the Mountaineers right now. 40 yards of passing and 33 yards of rushing.
3 for 3 on 3rd down so far. They look at a 3rd down and 8. Quarterback draw after the fake, running up the field is going to be about 2 yards short, maybe 3. Tackled by Brendan Gilbo, sophomore out of Washington, D.C.'s Dunbar High School, number 91. So now our first punt of the afternoon. McAfee, who does all the kicking for West Virginia, at a Plum, PA. Almost 37 yards thus far. The big number 4 inside the 4. That running kick, oh, he got a good one. He got a great one, as a fact. And that's going to be inside the 10. As number Jallo, 21, had it hit him, and he let it go. He could have bought another couple of yards. 63 yards on the punt, hang time of 4.4. That is impressive. Let's take a look now at our ESPNU All-State Standings Review. The LSU Bengal Tigers, big one tonight against Florida. Southern Cal, big Pac-10 represented. South Florida, the Big East, number 6. How about Kentucky, the year they're having?
Yeah, they lose on the road to South Carolina on Thursday night. The ball coach got his team going pretty well.
Sure enough. Good defensive field position for West Virginia. Here's Robinson, straight up the gut. And that's a nice gain to about the 15-yard line by Doug Hogue. Hogue's out of Yonkers, New York, Roosevelt High School, just his 4th carry of the year.
I've been impressed, Dave, so far with this offensive line for Syracuse today. They've been playing pretty well. They're winning the battles at the line of scrimmage. They're giving Brinkley and Hope on that last play some creases to run the football through.
Gain of 7. Looking for room up the middle, and they have enough for first down to about the 21-yard line. Reed Williams making the stop. 5-yard pickup. So Hogue showing a little explosiveness. He's a little bit bigger. He's their biggest running back at 6'2", 215.
And Dave, he needed to be on that play. There was no running room, and Doug Hogue did it all by himself, as you said, 6'2", 215. Only a freshman, but gets it done there on the second carry.
Remember, we were talking to Jeff Castile about Syracuse taking 4, 5, maybe 6 deep shots. This could be coming one right here. 1st and 10. Screen not there. It is on the far side. Fumble intercepted. Keelan Dykes has got it. Dykes at the 10, at the 5. He's in. Touchdown, West Virginia. Keelan Dykes, the nose tackle. The big fella got his paws on it, and nobody was going to stop him.
2 tip balls already today. 1 intercepted by Ryan Mundy that sets up a scoring opportunity. And now Keelan Dykes, the recipient of this tip ball. Great read by the linebackers from the Mountaineers. A big hit on Smith on the inside receiver screen. And then Keelan Dykes goes the distance for 6.
John DeCease hucked it, knew what he was doing. North-south, shoulders squared, but it looked like he did a little NFL celebration as he got in. He was in danger, maybe fumbling. But a heck of a performance as McAfee tacks on the extra point. How about that? 2 turnovers converted into 14 points by the Mountaineers. A 19-yard return by Keelan Dykes. Not bad when your 6'5", 310-pound nose tackle knows what he's doing, showing some ball skills. Mountaineers by 2 scores. Highly regarded Keelan Dykes, a 4-year starter, with a touchdown, a 19-yard tip ball interception return. That is impressive.
He was the right man in the right spot. And Andrew Robinson, entering today, had 0 interceptions in over 100 attempts, and today 2 interceptions on 5 attempts, 1 for that touchdown. But you can't really fault Robinson, both on tip passes.
You betcha. Last time they had an interception return for TD, 40-yarders by Jamila Day against Pitt, November 24 of 05. Here's a return by Randy McKinnon. McKinnon puts Syracuse in decent shape at about the 32-yard line. Ridwan Malik making the stop, a 16-yard return.
Reed Williams is the key to this interception. He's here. You're going to get the inside screen coming from Syracuse from outside in, but he's the guy that jars the ball loose. He's going to go outside to the middle of the field, recognize screen, gets the big hit on Smith coming in, and then the big fella, all 6'5", 295-pound senior out of Youngstown Cheney High School, Keelan Dykes, goes in for 6.
Reed Williams, their number 1 tackler, getting it done. 1st and 10 at the 32. Waggle to the far side. Robinson downfield, got a man down there, incomplete. Trying to get it to Taj Smith, number 4.
Dave, great coverage down the field by Antonio Lewis. Taj Smith was one of those guys that we talked about in the open. Williams and Smith wanted to be big play receivers, trying to get the football into their hands, but also a penalty may be going against Syracuse as well.
Antonio Lewis there on the coverage.
And over receiver downfield. Number 60 on the offense. Penalties declined. Second down.
The center, Jim McKenzie, got downfield a little bit too far. Jimmy's a redshirt freshman. Philadelphia suburb of Springfield, Pennsylvania, went to St. Joseph's Prep. First team AP All-State coming out of the Prep. Doug Hogue in the game now for the Orange as the deep back. Hogue will get the carry, looking to bounce it. Picks up a few, crosses the 35 to about the 36. Let's go down to Syracuse with more on Robinson.
Thanks, Dave. Well, offensive coordinator Brian White was talking to us about Andrew Robinson, and he said he's been unbelievable in handling things. He's like a Timex. He gets whacked, makes a mistake, and he just gets up and keeps on ticking. After the first season opener, he said that I know one thing about Andrew Robinson. He competed the whole night, and he showed everyone he's a resilient, tough guy. So I think Andrew Robinson is going to be okay throughout the rest of the day today.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. 3rd down and 6 out of the pistol formation. Quick pop, knocked down by Johnny Dingle, the 6'3" senior from Miami, Florida. And there's a heavy Florida influence on this ball club. It has been for a lot of years for West Virginia.
Dave, you're almost right. Nobody's rushing the passer when you see Dingle come off. Nobody's rushing the passer when they go to that trips receiver side to the wide side. You almost want to run the football with that one back maybe the next time out. And this is the first attempt at a punt on special teams for Syracuse.
Rob Long to punt, his first punt today. Takes his time, and Penny got a piece of it. They got a piece of it indeed. He gets a terrific roll inside the 25 to the 21-yard line, but Long took a long time with that. Charles Pugh got a piece of it. He still got 41 yards out of the punt. Only 2.9 on the hang time, so 41 yards. He had, 31 of it on the roll. Not bad, though. So the West Virginia Mountaineers have a 21-7 lead. Here's Long, taking a little bit too much time and almost paid for it. Mountaineer ball when we return. Beautiful day here at Syracuse, and we're on campus at the Carrier Dome on a fine, fine day along with Sarah Kustak and John Congemi. I'm Dave Sims. So glad you could join us. West Virginia Mountaineers have dominated in this series, and in those 5 wins, Syracuse 1-0. They've won by an average of 18 points. Right now, Mountaineers lead at 21-7. Steve Slayton, the deep back. Owen Schmidt, the fullback in this I formation. Pitch to Slayton, trying to get him to the edge. Picks up about 4. He crosses the 25-yard line, brought down by Lee Williams. A gain of 4 on that play. West Virginia has been very productive, John, when it's got its hands on the ball.
They've really done a nice job of using the field position they've had, and it hasn't been a lot. The first time 5 plays resulting in a touchdown, and then their own 23 going 77 yards for the touchdown, making Rich Rodriguez a happy man.
Here's a reverse, and they come back the other way with Slayton. Flags coming. And Slayton with a burst to the 46. Tom Tomczyk, the referee in the backfield, he saw the play in front of him, a block in the back, a 21-yard gain. That baby's coming back. There was an unnecessary block play. Slayton had already cleared when his teammate wiped the guy out, hit him in his back.
Yeah, it was Brandon Hogan, the freshman wide receiver, and you can see Rich Rodriguez talking about it. I think the first block was okay. It was the second time.
Legal block in the back. Number 22 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Dave, it was the second block that they're going to get. He'd already hit him once, and this is the second block, clearly in the back. And I think with the speed of Slayton, the youthful receiver didn't anticipate him just beating him to the outside. Could have laid off, but ended up getting into the back.
He will, and probably will get some an earful for a while on that on the call. Rich Rodriguez has that 21-yard gain taken off the books. By the way, that Keelan Dyke score by the nose tackle was the first time under Rich Rodriguez that a D lineman has returned an interception for touchdown at West Virginia. Tom Tomczyk and his crew checking things out. Linesman is Kevin McGrath, the umpire Rick Feeney, line judge Ralph Newell, side judge Bruce Williams, field judge Bruce Vasconcells, and the back judge is Paul Vargo, a veteran Big East crew. Second down and 16 at the 16. Spread formation. Get it outside. And let's see, they pick it up 5 yards on that to Devon. Who's that? It is. That was Jock Sanders with his first catch of the day, the freshman from St. Petersburg, Florida. 21-7 Mountaineers. Owen Schmidt a 1-yard run, White a 1-yard run, and Keelan Dykes the nose tackle and 19-yard interception return. Brinkley a 1-yard run for the Orange.
I think Syracuse has 12 guys out on the field.
Not good. You're
Legal
correct.
substitution on a defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
That's exactly what it was. They had 12 men on the field.
Here we see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and there's another guy coming on.
There's up top here, 12.
12.
And then he got that.
Here's the guy 12 right there.
It might have been 13 because there was the one you missed in the middle.
The way I'm used to Canada. 12 was okay for me.
John Kajemi, after his career at Pitt, which he played 9 years in the CFL. 9:15 they go. White drills one, caught by West Lyons, a 6'8" wide receiver. First down, West Virginia to the 42-yard line. Gain of 16 yards. Brought down by Mike Holmes. That's a big target. Lyons' his 4th catch of the year.
And Dave, when Pat White is able to stick that back foot in to the ground and pivot and throw, I think he throws it as well as anybody in the Big East Conference. He comes through, just drills the curl route inside to West Lyons, and that makes this offense much more of a threat when he can do that.
So if they go back to the run here, first and 10 at the 43. Reynaud to the edge. Oh, what a blow he delivers. Big time play. Darius Reynaud, the senior out of Lulling, Louisiana. What a lick. Mike Holmes on the carry. Wow. Gain of 8.
Dave, we talked about Darius Reynaud being more like a running back when he has that ball, and you see him deliver the blow right there, running right over Mike Holmes.
That's a football play there, my man. What could they have? What could be in question about that?
Well, I think there was something that happened after the play. Could have been a personal foul.
Ball. Personal foul. Number 2 on the offense. Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 52 on the defense. Penalties offset.
I would say the only thing it could be, it had to be, they had some words exchanged.
Yeah, I would think you would have some words on either side if you were Mike or Darius. Both had a right to say something.
Boy, oh boy, that was impressive. I mean, and for a guy that's, they list him 5'10", that might be generous in terms of height. But that was a play by an experienced performer right there. Probably should have kept his mouth shut, but that's a whole nother deal. They've split the slate and top of your screen. A lot of speed here for West Virginia. Jallo at the bottom of your screen. Boy, all he has to do is just look that way, and he got a defender in the air. And Pat White picks up the first down. Syracuse territory at the 44.
Well, it's a great threat to put your threat running back to the wide receiver position, Steve Slayton, and just look at him, as you said, Dave. That will draw 2 or 3 people in a blue jersey, and it makes it easier for Pat White to go up inside.
Got a lot of options. Joe Fields, Dwayne Davis, number 26. First and 10, 44-yard line. Oh, that's a big-time play there. Jamel McLean, the second-team All-Big East performer from a year ago, and captain on the defensive unit, making a play. He's out of George Washington High School in Philadelphia. Loss of 2.
Dave, you know it's a big pop when you can hear it up here when we're broadcasting, and that was a big-time hit by Jamel McLean. He does a great job of coming off the edge right here and delivering the pop in the backfield on Steve Slayton. This is a guy that started as a linebacker. They like to move him around to the defensive end spot. They like to move him back to linebacker. He's got great speed, size, and he can rush the passer on the edge as well.
2 Philly area guys there. Slayton from northeast Philadelphia. And on the far side, Jock Sanders. Sanders spun down at about the 37-yard line. Pick up 8. Well, one of the things, John, that we were talking about watching tape on both of these clubs is West Virginia has superior speed, but I'm impressed by Syracuse. They haven't been run out of the building here. I mean, the difference is the Dykes interception return, but I thought they've done a pretty good job to this point.
They have.
3rd down and 3. 38-yard line, West Virginia 4-5 on 3rd down.
They need a big play here defensively.
White, keeper. Second effort, he'll be denied a 1st down. It'll be about 2 yards short. Joe Fields is there. There's another big-time performer, Joe Fields. Remember when Joe started at quarterback his freshman year out at BYU, and it was an absolute disaster. Then he comes back as we look at Richie Rodriguez. But Joe Fields really turned it around. Last year we came up here and Greg Robinson said he did a heck of a job to convince Joe that his better chance of playing on Sundays was as a DB. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Mountaineers are 4 of 9 on 4th down conversions so far this season. Play clock, plenty of time, 13 seconds. Now Rich Rodriguez sends in another play. Schmidt's going to handle the ball. How about this? Maybe he's going to quick kick it. He is. We're going to play the field position game, and he gets a great roll. Holy mackerel, look at this. Schmidt can do a lot, and he rolls it to the 2-yard line. Owen Schmidt, the subject of Kinjemi's corner, coming up in halftime, a 36-yard quick kick.
Forgot to ask him about his punting ability.
Yeah, I hear you. Holy mackerel. 5:33 to go. Big props for Schmitty. 21-7 Mountaineers. Well, Owen Schmidt just did a heck of a job to pin Syracuse. We originally thought inside the 10. They're going to mark it at the 11, a 27-yard quick kick. One of the great stories in West Virginia. He's a junior college player and came over to West Virginia, asked for a tryout. Boy, his legend has grown the last couple of years. John Kinjemi's going to have more on that coming up. Syracuse starting at its own 11. Rice Moss in motion. Cut back, nothing there for Brinkley. Coming up at halftime, Kinjemi's corner with Owen Schmidt. Let's get a little preview, a little taste of what Owen had to say yesterday.
Owen, first of all, I think it's a great story where you started and where you're at right now. Coming to West Virginia as a walk-on and now being on one of the premier teams in the nation, but you're one of the premier players on the team.
Like I've said so many times before, it's definitely a dream come true. It's taken a lot of hard work to get here, but I'm just excited. It's my senior year, so I'm just really excited to have the opportunity to be able to do this.
Well, as they say at Morgantown, we remember a couple of years last year, Schmidt happens.
Yeah, Schmidt happens, and it's a guy that can do it all. Now that he's playing tight end, he's playing tailback on the option for the first score.
That's unreal.
He plays fullback, and now he's a punter. I'm going to have to get on him next time I see him and let me in on some of the other stuff he's doing.
Heck of a punt. 3rd down and 8 at the 13. Robinson flush. He's in trouble. Loose ball. Loose ball. It's like West Virginia did not get it. They had an opportunity. Syracuse recovers. Johnny Dingle forced the fumble. And Corey Shavers, the left tackle, number 64, luckily for Syracuse, was there to make the recovery. Keelan Dykes, well, he really crushed the pile, and it must have been some good coverage, too.
Well, you called it, Dave. Johnny Dingle was the guy on the outside, really coming with that speed rush up on the right side and jars the ball loose from Robinson.
Second punt of the day by Rob Long. Well, he took his time to get rid of it. He doesn't have that luxury right now, standing 8 yards deep in the end zone. Low snap. Low kick. Chance for a return. And that's some good play. Paul Schauer makes the stop. 48 yards, a 5-yard return. And let's get more on Owen Schmidt. Here's Syracuse stop.
Dave, after Owen's very first game, he went up to all the coaches, hugged them, saying thanks for the chance. And every game since then, he's went up to Coach Rodriguez, shook his hand to thank him for the opportunity. And associate head coach Bill Stewart said, whatever legend you've heard about Owen Schmidt, double it, and you're getting close to the truth. And I think we've seen that in all he's done so far today.
No question about it. And hopefully we'll get a trip to West Virginia and see how the fans react to him, because he is big. And they've got stars in this club, Slayton and White. But Schmidt has also won the hearts of the Mountaineer fans. Here's White, play fake. Throws it to the aforementioned Mr. Schmidt, and look out. Big boy rumbling. Owen Schmidt to the 19-yard line. First down, West Virginia. Gain of 32 yards. Mike Holmes on the stop.
I'm glad Rich Rodriguez is cooperating on our telecast, because we're talking about Owen Schmidt. He gets it outside. Just a good job by Pat White, dishing it into Slayton, pulling it from his stomach, and now it's the big guy rumbling outside the numbers, cutting it back in.
Stiff armed his own guy.
Great job. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get in his way. White shirt, blue shirt, it doesn't matter.
He wiped out one of the wideouts who was trying to throw a block. That's some serious strength. Here's some talent here in Steve Slayton, but a good defensive play far side by the Syracuse Orange. Nice job in there. And that tackle made by Andrew Lewis. Take this one a day by Schmidt, huh?
Yeah, he takes the first touchdown at the tailback position. He's the recipient of that. Then he fills in for Shadle. A little kick down there, down to about the 3-yard line. And then the last catch outside, just a little flat route. And he's getting the guys in the blue jerseys out of the way, getting 85 out of the way, wearing a white jersey. It doesn't matter. Will Johnson, get out of the way.
Second down and 9. 19-yard line. Here he is again. Look out. Look out. First down, West Virginia. Mike Holmes fearing for his life on the far side. A gain of 10 by the big fella.
Owen has 4 rushes for 31 yards and a touchdown. Doing it all on the edge this time. Fake inside again to Slayton. The option pitch on the short side. I thought Owen may try to hurdle outside and Mike Holmes and get in for 6. It reminds me of the late
Leonard.
Ironhead Hayward that I had at Pitt. He's the same build.
Unreal. They split Slayton out left side. Gonzalez, bottom of your screen. And Brandon Hogan in the slot to the right. Quarterback draw. White's got room. Got the edge. Good block far side. And boy, it gets horse collared out at about the 1-yard line by Mike Holmes. Well, when you run that erect, you stand the chance to get lassoed just like that.
Quarterback draw all the way. Good block by the offensive tackle on the left side. And Stanchik and Schmidt. Watch Schmidt get outside, just kick out. Jameel McLean in the tackle, as you said, Dave, around the neck at the 1-yard line, dangerously tackled by Mike Holmes.
Nice job by Steve Slayton not to throw a block, too. Who gets the call here? Give it to Schmitty. Touchdown, West Virginia. Owen Schmidt with his second touchdown of the day and of the season. And the Mountaineers have opened it up to 27-7 late second quarter.
Dave, they take advantage of great field position on their side of the 50-yard line, and it culminates going over the top, the 1-yard plunge by Owen Schmidt.
Well, that screen proved to be devastating. His second TD. Point after McAfee, successful operation. 5-play, 51-yard drive in a minute 38. And a 31-yard screen by Schmidt. Big play in that possession.
Yeah, the Mountaineer faithful, they came strong today inside the Carrier Dome. Have a lot to cheer about, and a lot to cheer about to 35 push-ups and 35 points, or 28 points and 28 push-ups. Owen Schmidt getting it done on the screen, on the edge, on the option, and going over the middle.
They haven't even turned Slayton loose yet. Schmidt's getting a lot of the play. They're using Slayton. And I bet that guy, remember we were in Wisconsin about fire, your first year on the pack?
Yeah.
And the guy was, I don't know if it's the same fella, but he was the Mountaineer that day. It definitely was a different guy. And he said it had to have been 150 degrees in an authentic coonskin Mountaineer outfit.
Well, he was a different guy after that broadcast because he lost about 25 pounds.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the Wisconsin people said, dude, don't even think about shooting that gun off here. I said, no, we do it all the time. It was a big discussion pregame for that one. 5 plays, 51 yards, and 138. Pat McAfee going to kick it off. Randy McKinnon's deep. There we go. Well, he drills this. It's going to be a touchback. It'll get out of bounds. A very good kick. Nice hook shot by McAfee.
Touchback. Syracuse will take over at its own 20-yard line.
Take a look at this week's Suzuki College way of life. It's Ryan Duran, 2-year starter. That of Leominster, Mass, St. Bernard's Prep, 2-time Big East All-Academic team. It's his 19th consecutive start today. Orange offense with some work to do. And Neshwat, and that'll be an extra, that'll be a penalty indeed, unsportsmanlike penalty. Morty Ivy, not a smart play, and that's an understatement. Play was clearly over. The guy was defenseless, and there was no need. Jeff Castile.
Dead ball, personal foul. 44 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Jeff Castile will be all over Morty Ivy, who's a junior from Monroeville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, not a smart play, especially when Charles Pugh, one of the secondary members, was pressuring the pocket and around the legs of Andrew Robinson. You see Jeff Castile, the defensive coordinator and linebacker coach. You know, they forced 4 turnovers and only allowed 280 total yards last week against South Florida, but it was one of those games where they gave it up more than they got it.
Here, here. 1st and 10, they rush 4. Knocked down again. Johnny Dingle knocks it down. Johnny standing 6'3". Got some ups for 270 pounds. Good timing, good awareness.
Somebody on that offensive front has to get the hands down of Johnny Dingle, whether they attack him, whether it's Larry Norton or Ryan Duran. Someone on that right side needs to get into the body of Johnny Dingle and get those hands down so you can complete those 3-step drops.
28-7 Mountaineers. Robinson 3 of 9, 19 yards, 2 picks. He's under duress. Still under duress, and down he goes. Sacked by Charles Pugh, the junior from Orlando, Florida, with help from Johnny Dingle. 3rd team sack today by the Mountaineers. And they've got it in high gear here at the Carrier Dome.
It starts with defense, Dave, and you were talking about all the guys running around, and you can see the difference, especially in the pass offense.
There's Robinson. Deep out and drop. Neshriat had it. He at 1st down yardage. Senior from Poughkeepsie, New York. Frenshot Allen, number 20, on the coverage for West Virginia.
Boy, and Dave, that looked like a good throw, too, by the young quarterback. Looked like he stuck it into a small window, and Jawad's got to come up with that catch on 3rd and long.
Vaughn Rivers back to get this punt from Rob Long. Third punt. A beauty. Back to the 15. Rivers keeps his feet. Going to get to the edge. Pretty good punt. Fifth there, not a pretty good, a great punt at 56 yards. 12 yards on the return. And that was 2 yards short of his longest punt by Rob Long. Coming up at halftime, stay with us, our ESPN Plus halftime report. Some good works by the Syracuse Ball Club in the community here. Jimmy's Corner with Owen Schmidt. How timely is that? First half highlights and stats. What's West Virginia do with the ball here? Still got some time to work with, 51 seconds, and they can go
They
quickly.
can do just about anything they want, yeah.
Speed to burn on this ball club. Get it out to Reynaud. Oh, nice move. Nice move on a pirouette by Darius Reynaud, who was second team All Big East performer last year. Max Suter brings him down. Picks up 8 on the play.
Well, Dave, the more you watch him, the more you like him with the ball after catch. You know, he can really punish it defensively, and he finishes it like a running back.
Boy, he undressed Nick Chestnut.
Yeah.
Coming up next week here in our Big East telecast. Be sure to join us at noon Eastern. 21st ranked Scarlet Knights travel right here to Syracuse to take on the Orange. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Rutgers has a big one tonight against Cincinnati. And last year, John, we both correctly predicted that game, that Cincinnati, mentally, physically tough, rugged on defense. They still have that, but a different dimension this year on offense.
Yeah, I think they want to win the football game on offense this year. They're not afraid to lose it offensively, and I think that's the biggest difference in their football club. They still have the tenacity defensively, but they can score points.
Brian Kelly, more of an offensive coach than Mark D'Antonio, his specialty in defense. Mark now at Michigan State. White in space, picks up the first down. Clock will stop. He gets to the 44-yard line, a gain of 9. West Virginia running a hurry-up offense, and they're good at it.
First down and 10 Mountaineers.
Schmidt with 2 touchdown runs of 1 yard. Keelan Dykes a 19-yard interception run. White with a 1-yard run on a sweep. Here's Slate. Good ball protection. Gets it into Syracuse territory at the 49. It's a gain of 7. So Richie Rodriguez's club ripping off big chunks of yardage here. Jake Flaherty on the stop for the Cuse. .18 seconds remaining. Here's a look at the Big East standings. West Virginia, the preseason favorite, looking up at South Florida. The Bulls winners last week against the Mountaineers. Cincinnati against Rutgers. They'll open up conference play tonight. And how disappointing is Louisville, giving up 583 yards last night in a loss to Utah?
Yeah, David, it's almost embarrassing the way they play defense. They can't stop anybody, and as good as their offense is, doesn't matter how many points they score.
It's amazing. Look at the standings, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. And right now we take a look at the upcoming schedule. Mississippi State, Sylvester Crewman Company coming to Morgantown. Rutgers, that'll be a big game. And then Louisville, some of the contests coming up. One timeout left for the Mountaineers. The rollout. White. Home run ball. It's got a man running free and incomplete. They tried to get it to Darius Reynaud, and covering on a play was Mike Holmes.
Well, they took their shot with 18 seconds left. Now it's down to 13, 2nd and 10. They wanted to hit the home run to Reynaud, but they also had Wes Lyons down there on a deep post as well. Patrick trying to go outside to the playmaker, and they just miss him on 2nd down.
They got the speed team out there. And I'm telling you, they got major league speed. Jock Sanders just came on. They got 5 receivers. Syracuse rushes 4. White, bubble screen, Slayton with room. Slayton sideline. He'll get out of bounds to stop the clock. First down, Mountaineers with 6 seconds to go. Dwayne Davis makes the stop, a 17-yard pickup.
Did it sound like somebody went beep beep?
Yeah.
That looked like the Roadrunner outside. He just hit the afterburners and is gone down the rail. A great job by Steve Slayton getting the Mountaineers in field goal range. Wes Lyons, a great block on the edge as well.
So this will be 49-yard attempt for McAfee. His career best is 51. He did it in Heinz Field. No wind conditions here. Left hash. Got into it really well. McAfee has put 3 more on the board for the Mountaineers. It's 31-7 as the clock runs out. 49 yards from Pat McAfee. What a first half for the Mountaineers. They're showing the whole package today, John.
Great job in cashing in. Steve Slayton does a great job of moving the chains, and then the strong kick. Special teams have been awesome today on both sides, but you got to say cashing in and taking advantage of opportunities there by the Mountaineers, and Patrick White and Steve Slayton on the sidelines excited about it.
31-7. West Virginia got this one at a lock already. They put up 264 yards to just 74 for the Orange. Halftime festivities straight ahead here in Big East football.
West Virginia University is a special place.
West Virginians are different. They're kind, respectful.
We have a best kept secret.
Excellence here is expected, valued, honored, and recognized.
You can do anything that you want at WVU. It will not only introduce you to the world, it will introduce you to yourself.
It's definitely a unique experience. There's a lot of opportunities.
We continue at halftime here at Syracuse, New York, as the 13th ranked West Virginia Mountaineers take on the Syracuse Orange. Time now for Ken Jemmy's Corner, and his featured guest today is West Virginia fullback Owen Schmidt.
You talk about the glamour positions. Quarterback Pat White, running back Steve Slayton. Fullback might not be as glamorous, and without the glamour comes a lot of contact. Contact creates face mask problems for you. You've cracked a lot of them in the past, probably 9 or 10 of them in your history. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think the first one was my spring, my first year at West Virginia was during spring ball. I think that's when one got kind of mangled. I don't know if we really knew much about it, but my first year playing, you know, I guess there was one bent and they made a big deal about it, but I've actually never heard of anything like that happening, so you know, it's kind of a freak thing, I guess, but it's kind of a neat stat, I guess, they hold.
Yeah, they're mounted up on the wall, aren't they, somewhere?
Yeah, Coach Rod's I think he's got one of them in his room, and I have one of them at my house.
Nothing's under the pillow, though, right?
No.
You're talking about face masks and how you break them in the past. Is it the type of block that you deliver? I mean, face to face? How does that happen?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I lead with not my head, but my face. You know, you like to see what you're going to hit. So, you know, I like to just look at, you know, what I'm going to hit. So I aim, you know, under the chin, I guess, and then just deliver the blow.
And you certainly don't want to be on the receiving end of one of those blows, to be sure, John. He's put together a very nice resume.
Dave, one of the nicest young men I've ever got down and sat down or stood next to and talked to for 10 or 15 minutes. Great work ethic, tough player. It's what you want. He is the ultimate football warrior.
No question about it. Owen Schmidt of the West Virginia Mountaineers. When we return, take a look at first half highlights, run down some numbers for you, and get started with the second half from Syracuse right after this. Back here at Syracuse, your Big East football conference game of the week. The 13th ranked West Virginia Mountaineers 31-7 over the Syracuse Orange. Along with John Kijemi and Sarah Kustok, I'm Dave Sims. Glad you could join us. Pretty good bounce back by West Virginia off the loss last week to South Florida.
They've done a great job of taking advantage of the field position they've had, really shutting down the passing attack of Syracuse and punching it in the end zone.
They have done a great job as we take a look at our PNC first half highlights. John, it's yours.
Well, it was the Owen Schmidt show early, but first it was the pick by Mundy. Good job by the West Virginia defense of providing great field position. Then Pat White on the edge, just a little dish outside, 7-0 with Owen Schmidt going in on a 7-yard run. But Syracuse, they answer Brinkley, a 1-yard run over the top that was set up by a big kick return. But then it's the speed and the agility of Pat White to get to the edge to make it 14-7 Mountaineers. The big tip over the middle, the good hit on the inside, and then Keelan Dykes takes it in 21-7. West Virginia defensive score. Owen Schmidt, he'll barrel in from 3 yards out, doing a good job of catching in on field position, Dave.
Take a look at our Polaris first half stats and the numbers. 2 turnovers for the Orange, 10 points off of turnovers, And West Virginia, Syracuse, you know, they've done some nice things today, but just too much. They've only had 2.4 yards per play compared to 7+ for West Virginia. Take a break and come back. Started the second half straight ahead, and West Virginia's going to get the ball when we come back.
Individual accolades are the fruit of team success. With great pride, the Big East Conference salutes 4 deserving candidates for the most revered distinction of all, the Heisman Trophy. Louisville quarterback Brian Brom, West Virginia's Pat White and Steve Slayton, and Rutgers running back Ray Rice. Congratulations on the consideration you're receiving for this most prestigious honor.
Welcome back, everybody. We're in the Carrier Dome at Syracuse, New York. 13th-ranked Mountaineers have a 31-7 halftime lead, and they get the ball to start the second half. On with John Kinjemi at Syracuse. I'm Dave Sims. Patrick Shadle, the native of Morgantown, West Virginia, going to kick it off for the Orange. And here we go. Sidewinding kick taken by Jock Sanders. Big collisions down there, maybe a face mask, and I don't see there is a penalty flag coming in. There's a face mask, a 24-yard return. And that penalty, I believe, is going to go against Syracuse. The return to the 40-yard line.
Personal foul. Face mask. On the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Not the start the Orange is looking for. Mike Owen called for the penalty. Patrick White, again, John, putting up some numbers.
Yeah, and showing no effect of that thigh bruise he suffered last week at South Florida in that loss. 125 passing yards, 10 of 12. He's done an efficient job through the air, but you can't really stop him on the ground, especially when he breaks contain on the edge.
Speed differential shows itself play after play. White gets it out to Raynaud. A gang tackle, and he can't put any moves on. Picks up about 2. Let's get downstairs to Syracuse stock. What do you have, Sarah?
We got a chance to catch up with the coaches going into the second half, and Coach Rodriguez said that the key for them has been the pressure on quarterback Andrew Robinson. They haven't been getting a lot of sacks, but it's the tips and the deflections that's been a great help. Obviously, Pat White looks and feels great for Greg Robinson. He said his guys have got to hang in there. They finally got their running game going and minimized West Virginia's defensive play, but right now they just got to hang in there, play 60 minutes.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. Here's the option by White, strung out, beautifully done. Fumble. Looks like it went out of bounds. Good job by Max Suter over there on the far side. That play strung out very nicely. There's Max. And Greg Robinson saw some good things from his ball club today, but boy, a couple of turnovers, and then Owen Schmidt has killed him, and the speed game has killed him.
Well, they've given him instant field position here, and as you said, Dave, Max Suter doing a nice job coming up and preventing a bad play to get worse. Pat White stopped on the edge.
Suter has a helmet issue. 3rd down and 6. Screen, far side, Slayton, first down. Inside the 35 to the 33-yard line, Nick Chestnut took the blow. 9 yards on the gain. He does stop Slayton, though.
Dave, even when you get West Virginia to the short side of the field, they still have enough speed to break that initial tackle or make one guy miss or run by one person and get enough yards for the first down. They do a good job of blocking downfield for Slayton through the wideouts.
Bottom of the screen, Wes Long, a 6'8" sophomore from North Braddock, Pennsylvania, end around. Make that up the middle. Check that up the middle with Slayton brought down by Joe Fields, number 5, a gain of 6. So they're ripping off just huge chunks of yardage.
Yeah, and they're not helping their cause, are the Orange, by starting on a short field. They get a special teams penalty and a big return. Now West Virginia inside the Orange 30-yard line.
Second down and 4th to 27. Reverse this time or not. He's got a convoy. He's got the first down inside the 25 at the 21-yard line. Jamil McLean, a gain of 7. So big chunks of yardage down. In the first half, it was 7.5 yards, about 3.5 yards, maybe 2.5, 3 yards per pop.
Well, they've done a nice job of setting that up. They've gone with Slayton through the tackle area, and now they finally bring Renard on the edge. He gets a good block by Jala on the outside.
Here we go on a 1st and 10 at the 20. Play fake, little rollout, a lot of options. Renaud is there, touchdown, West Virginia. 20 yards on the completion. Darius Renaud from Patrick White. So White has thrown for 1 and rushed for 1, and the route continues.
Dave, this is a very tough offense to stop when you can throw it as well as you can run it. This time Pat White fits this football into a tight window just on the inside of 26 Dwayne Davis and on the outside of Mike Holmes, 35. Great throw, but even better concentration by Darius Reynard down the edge.
Reynard with his 6th TD, point after good by McAfee. 12:31 to go, 3rd quarter. 38-7 West Virginia, and that man right there, number 9, the captain of the 87 ball club, Don McPherson, is here. We'll speak to him when we return to the Carrier Dome. Back here at Syracuse, the 13th ranked West Virginia Mountaineers pouring it on Syracuse 38-7 early here in the 3rd quarter. A 6-play, 54-yard drive in 2:29. That was the opening drive of the second half. They had a 40-yard kickoff return plus a face mask penalty, and then Renaud with the TD catch. And that is his 6th. Squib it downfield. And here comes the Orange, 25-30, 35-yard line, so they'll at least have good starting position. It's Legends Day here at Syracuse, and we are proud and pleased to welcome in our friend Don McPherson, who's the captain of the 87 unbeaten team here at Syracuse. You had my Heisman vote, big fella. I appreciate good to have you here. And what's it like getting back with all the fellas again?
You know, we lost a couple of guys along the way, Tim Byrne, Pat Kelly, and Chris Ingram, who passed away in the last few years. And the guys who came together, we talk about those guys a lot because they were such a part of not just an 87 team, but a family of players that were together and a part of a special time in our lives.
They go deep middle. First down, West Virginia's territory. And Taj Smith, take us back to that year in 87. Did you think you had a team that was capable of going undefeated?
You know, I watched these players today for Syracuse, and they're a lot like we were in 1986. Lots of talent on the field, but something's missing. It's a spark. It's communication. There's something missing, and that team in 87 was like that. You think about the guys in that team, Darryl Johnston, Pat Kelly, Robert Drummond, you know, the guys who made that team what it was, made it special, were great ball players who spent a lot of time in the NFL. So lots of talent on the team, and we just put it together at the right time.
There's Brinkley. Oh, he took some punishment there, gain of about a yard. Let's take you back to the last game of the year in 87 against West Virginia.
Yeah.
And what do you remember about the circumstances in this game?
You know, the best part about this game was that ESPN only picked up the last drive, and so the rest of the country saw this.
And then this.
And then going for 2. And it was, you know, someone asked me about this earlier. This is such a physical game. You put your heart out there. You want to go for it all when you have that opportunity.
Major Harris, good ball club. Good quarterback. He had a heck of a year. Look at the big throw he made there. You guys come away with a 1-point win as Robinson scrambles, kicks up a couple of yards. Tell the folks what you're doing these days.
Just started a new company called the Hopewell Group with a friend of mine named Steve DeSalvo, who we're doing some philanthropic advisement, advising people who have family foundations and other kinds of foundations where they're doing community service, serving the greater good, and we're trying to help them help them ramp up what they do professionally, and help them do a better job of serving the community and serving the greater good.
Mac, you talk about coming back and being with guys and that, but it also must make it that much more special to see your old coach and have the guys go out last night and tell old stories, and everybody's trying to imitate him and what he said back then. That's got to be special for you.
It really is. And you saw it right when you graduate, all of a sudden he becomes a friend and not just a coach. And now 20 years out, he's a peer. And last night he showed up and the entire room went into their favorite Coach Mac stories and Coach Mac imitations. And it's amazing what guys remember, the little sayings. And even in fact, when we got together there as a unit and at the mock two-point conversion, we actually said one of Mac's isms when we broke as a team. So he's had such an impact on everybody's lives.
Syracuse with a first down, West Virginia territory, 34-yard line. Smith in motion to the left. Play action and incomplete. I'm so happy none of you guys blew hammies on the reenactment of the two-point conversion. That was the best thing. At our age, you can't be doing it now.
I tell you, what I was thinking here was trying to get the crowd, like usual, and then at this moment, I wanted to recreate history. Look at a little bit like Fred Sanford.
Yeah, right? A little bit. Going to the refrigerator.
Yeah, it's like that time is past.
That's exactly right.
Walk up to the ball and tap it in.
That's right.
It's good.
Somebody asked me how I was going to run option in Italian shoes. I said, now you know why I'm living.
Yeah, right. Tackle for a loss. As West Virginia's defense, Quentin Andrews, the boundary safety, did a job. Quentin Andrews makes a heck of a play. You talked with Coach Robinson to get a feel for where he's taking his program?
Yeah, I think he's at that point where they're struggling, and if you spend any time talking to Coach Robinson, he's an extraordinarily optimistic guy. And I think that at this point, that's what he's hanging his hat on. He's gonna will these guys through this time and the program through this time, and has that belief that he can get it turned around.
And we've all been through these types of deals too. 3rd and 14. Robinson deep middle. And then dropped brother at the 5-yard line. Rice Moss had it, couldn't bring it in. Nice throw by the quarterback, Andrew Robinson. He throws a deep middle ball very nicely.
He really does. It's what I said a moment ago. You have guys running in space. You have guys open. There's a possibility for plays. Great protection on this play. He puts the ball right where it has to be, over the linebacker. That's how close it is, and that's how close it is with this program. They are just a few fingertip plays away.
And way back when it was the McPhersons, now it might be the Robinson connection.
Yeah,
going forward for the Orange.
That's exactly right. And he's wearing that number 9.
Yeah.
Rob Long's going to punt it. By the way, I enjoyed your performance. I know, a year or two ago. I've seen you a couple times since, but I got to say, on our audience, you were great on Oprah a couple of years ago.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's big time. You go on this Oprah show, and she shows you some love. That's not bad. Donnie, all the best. We got to take a break. Don McPherson, our guest here. We'll be back with more here at the Carrier Dome. West Virginia, big, 38-7. Good-looking day here in central New York. As we are inside the Carrier Dome, beautiful early fall day here. Bright sunshine temperature. Up in the 80s, Dave Sims, John Kingemi, and Syracuse stock with you. All West Virginia. That man right there, Owen Schmidt, has had quite a day. Couple touchdowns. He's got a long punt on a quick kick. And a fine afternoon. White gives it to Schmidt. It opens up. I'll tell you what. You need some help to tackle. He ran through Jake Flaherty, who held on for dear life, a gain of 5.
I mean, Dave, that's a big body coming right at you and coming downhill most of the time. Jameel McClain and Flaherty did their job to try to stuff that hole, but it's only after 5 yards.
Schmidt carrying 260 pounds. Flaherty just 228. As they say, you do the math. 5 carries, 32 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Owen Schmidt. Home run ball, laying it up for Slayton. Makes an adjustment, can't come up with it. He had Joe Fields beaten for about 3 steps, but White got too much air, John.
It was a stop-and-go route to the short side, and Pat White must know he has to get rid of this football just a hair earlier, because you cannot throw the football far enough for this speed. He has to idle down and try to make a tough catch, and that brings Joe Fields back into the play, and he does just enough to get in the vision of Steve Slayton, who's not a receiver by trade. He's a running back, so a tougher catch.
3rd down and 5, 16-yard line. Option, wow. Wow, Patrick White, what leg problem? 1st down, West Virginia. 27 yards on the run, finally brought down by Jameel McClain. Goodness gracious.
Looks like Pat White may be coming out of the game after the play. Might have fell on the football, but what an effort. McClain gets him from behind, but not after a big gain, and Pat White is down in the middle of the field.
Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him. They don't lose a ton when they bring in the backup Jared Brown. Brown may be, according to Richie Rodriguez, the best thrower in the program. White today has done serious damage to Syracuse. 14 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown.
Looked like White may have fell on the football or something up by his chest or his chin area, because he had a lot of bodies in traffic, and you can see him taking a look underneath the shoulder pads. Maybe it's a problem with a shoulder blade, but it looked like he had a couple bodies, Dave, right on top of him at the end of the play. You see the tackle from behind by McClain trying to strip the football. There's a hand around the mask.
And the 2 guys, Fields and McClain, yeah, that's a lot of weight. And if he gets the right angle, it can really be painful. He's averaging 6.3 yards per touch. And that is some work there.
That might have been that shoulder, too, because Fields and McClain came right on him.
Tough kid, as we know. Left the game last week with a bruised thigh. We're back with more coming up right after this. A lot of cause for concern on the sideline of West Virginia and back in the state of West Virginia with Patrick White on the bench as they're looking. It appears to be a collarbone area, and his replacement is taking the field now. Jared Brown, a sophomore from West Palm Beach, Florida. Reverse. Divine's got it, and he's got blazing speed. Outran his coverage and picks up 8 yards on the play. So Jared Brown, first career start a year ago against Rutgers, led them to a win. 60% completion. There's his numbers. His athletic coaching education, 62%. Completion rate. He rushes at almost 6 yards a carry himself. Big guy at 6'4". Here's the option. Pitch it outside Slayton. 1st down for West Virginia. Nice hard running. Picks up 4. The initial tackler ran right through him. Flaherty there. Patrick White. A little discomfort. Take a look at our Big East leaders, brought to you by Chevy Silverado. Ray Rice, Anthony Allen, he runs tough, doesn't he? Not as fast as Slayton, but he gets the job done. And LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, the freshman from Pittsburgh on offense, really their only bright spot, but Anthony Allen has done a good job of picking up the pace for Louisville. The problem that they're having is on defense.
They can't stop anybody.
And we'll get to see Ray Rice next week right here.
Ray Rice and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, they take on Cincinnati tonight. That game in New Jersey, and I'm sure the house will be rocking down there. That was Vincenzo Jeruzzi out of Utica, New York, 50-year player. Slayton, 12 for 57. They've used him as much today as a decoy, as Owen Schmidt's been rampaging through the Syracuse defensive unit.
Yeah, really the same numbers he had against USF. He was 13 of 54 last week.
Well, hopefully there's no break over there on the sideline for Patrick White. 1st and 10, Syracuse 45. Slayton getting the carry. Bottled up. Does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. No really good surge as they pulled Isdanner and Figner, the 2 tackles.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned for Pat White because this is a guy that's a tough kid. and he can play through injury, and he's proven that coming back from last week of that thigh injury to today. And for him to come out of this football game, it'd have to be pretty severe for him to stay on the sidelines, and it has to be something to do with his collarbone.
Brown getting the signal in from the sideline. 10 seconds now left on the play clock. This was once a 7-7 ball game. Brown throwing off the back foot. Jump ball. Lions on his hands. Penalty flags all over the place. Wes Lyons, the 6'8" sophomore, got his hands on it. Couldn't bring it in. Nick Chestnut covering for Syracuse.
We talked about in the open if Jared Brown had to start the game. Well, he's into the game now, but that's the thing you get with him, his strong arm.
15-yard penalty for the previous spot. First down.
Tom Tomczyk, the referee.
Not many guys can get this football in the area over 50 yards. Chestnut trying to do some good defense on Wes Lyons, but just that size is too much for him.
Let's go down to Syracuse stock.
Pain in Pat White's face. They checked his neck, his collarbone, his shoulders, but head athletic trainer said that it's just rib irritation. Pat White pointed to the right side of his chest, so the Mountaineer fans will just have to wait and see how he progresses.
Sarah, thank you very much. 6:20 to go here in the third. Brown going to keep it. Bigger and not near as quick as Patrick White. Brought down by Lee Williams. This was a 7-7 ball game at the 6:38 mark, first quarter. After Brinkley scored a 1-yard run, they were helped by a 40-yard kickoff return. Talking about Syracuse, here's White. Looks like he's going to take it inside to the locker room. But since then, White a 1-yard run, Dykes a 19-yard interception return, Schmidt a 1-yard run, McAfee a 49-yard field goal, and White to Renat for a touchdown. And it's 38-7 Mountaineers. 31 unanswered points. Found a crease. Picked up about 5 to the 25-yard line. Brought down by Arthur Jones. So there goes Patrick White. He'll take it inside. West Virginia band 350 strong. Boy, their initial note, I felt like I was taking a standing 8 count.
It blew us back.
Oh,
yeah.
It was amazing. What a great performance by both bands, but 350 strong, a lot of brass indoors. What a combination. Great job of it, Cruz. West Virginia 7 of 9 on third down conversion. And they 350 strong here today. They left 50 at home.
Yeah.
A good traveling party here for Rich Rodriguez and company. He's going to call a timeout. Going for career victory number 100. And he's not particularly happy right now. 4:53 to go. And that's what happens when you put your backup quarterback in. He's not going to be nearly as sharp. Meanwhile, Greg Robinson, as Don McPherson said, you got to love the way this guy manages to stay positive.
Yeah, and he has to. He's been working the sidelines the entire second half, trying to get his guys to get up and believe in what they're doing, work on what they've done all week, and try to stop this West Virginia offense and get the ball back to his offense.
And the offense has shown some signs. That last possession by Syracuse, a nice deep middle pass while we were talking to Don McPherson. Robinson hits Rice Moss right in his hands. He can't catch it at about the 5-yard line.
You're only going to have 5 or 6 of those plays a game that you're going to be able to capitalize on for big plays and sometimes touchdowns. And when you don't make those plays, this is the result. This is how you become, 0-7 and 0-5 in the Big East, or 1-6 last year. You don't capitalize on opportunities you have.
4:53 to go. 3rd and 6. Get it to Devine and do it quickly on the screen. He's got the first down and more. Inside the 15 to the 13. First down, West Virginia. Gain of 13 yards. Boy, Devine has not had a lot of touches today. The Mountaineers, with that conversion, go 8 for 10 on 3rd down.
Yeah, they've been able to stay out on the field and keep Syracuse's defense out there with them and dragging them along towards the end zone. That was a good job by Noel Devine, the freshman out of Fort Myers, just to catch and run and use his agility and speed to the outside. And this drive started on their own 11. 77 yards later, they're knocking at the door.
From the 13, 3 receivers, bottom of your screen. They go that way. Here's Renaud with blocking, cuts it inside. Good defensive play, Max Suter. Suter showing some quicks out there. He's the guy that's made a name for himself as a fine kick returner for the Orange this year. Time of possession, John, in the neighborhood of 22:04 for West Virginia, 18:03 for Syracuse, but it feels twice as much.
Yeah, it just feels like this Mountaineer offense has been on the field the entire afternoon.
They go trips to the top of your screen to Brown's right. And they'll run it with Devine inside the 10 to the 9. Pick up 3, brought down by Jake Flaherty.
Jake Flaherty making the tackle for Syracuse.
Clock continues to run. We'll be back here next week to see the Orange play host to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Owen Schmidt's in.
From the 9-yard line.
A good chance he's going to either carry the ball or take you to the ball carrier.
And you've got that size to the short side, Dave, in West Lyons, a 6'8" receiver.
See if they play jump ball. 3rd and 6 at the 9. Brown will pick up a block from Schmidt. Peel back block. Schmidt had his helmet come off as he laid a big lick on Lee Williams.
Brown keeps the ball.
Boy, Schmidt, wonder if he broke a face mask on that one.
He's checking it.
Schmidt, what a day. 6 carries for 37 yards, 2 TDs today. Present
punt?
count and a quick kick that put Syracuse inside about the 11-yard line. He's checking the face mask. Here's McAfee. He ended the first half with a 49-yard field goal and had about 20 yards to spare. This from 23 yards. AC's shot. McAfee puts 3 on the board. And the Mountaineers 41-7 at the 3-minute mark. And let's get back into Kinjemi's corner and talk more about Owen Schmidt.
When you talk about West Virginia, you talk about the Heisman hopefuls, Pat White, Steve Slayton. But Schmidt happens at West Virginia, and they've got the signs and they've got it in the stand with the students, and the student section goes nuts when they see 35 carry the football, catch a pass, score a touchdown. You've got to be a little bit of a cult figure yourself down there.
A little bit. It's kind of funny, the saying Schmidt happens. I think it was my freshman year when my buddies came up to me and they were all hyping about it or whatever. It's pretty funny. It's just nice to kind of be recognized, obviously. You know, the fullback doesn't really get a lot of love anymore, like it used to back when, you know, football started. But yeah, it's you know, the fans are great and they've been so supportive of me. And you know, I've just had a hell of a time at West Virginia, and I'm glad to be here.
Owen Schmidt, indeed a cult hero. Morgantown, West Virginia.
Got a battle scar on his bottom lip there, a little cut on his lip. No worse for wear, tough guy. He's just a versatile player, Dave. He can do everything.
Yeah, I tell you what, he'll be playing on Sunday somewhere. Oh, that's even more trouble for Syracuse. Did he touch that? The question was, did he touch it? That was Randy McKinnon. It looked like he may have touched it, but there's a penalty flag that undoubtedly is going to go against West Virginia. It does.
Ball we placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So 3 minutes to go here in the 3rd.
Dave, you might have been right. It looked close to being a touch there on the sideline. We're going to get another peek at this. I'm not sure if it was a bounce or a touch.
Ooh, it
missed his hands and went right underneath his legs.
He's lucky.
Through his legs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's real close. Yeah, I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt he didn't. So they aren't starting at their own 35. Hogue gets the carry. Fairly explosive 4-yard run. Vince, don't forget to check out the Liberty Mutual Coach of the Year. Here's more on how to vote for your favorite coach.
The Liberty Mutual Coach of the Year award is given to the college football coach in each division who delivers results while demonstrating exceptional responsibility and integrity both on and off the field. Go to coachoftheyear.com and vote for the coach you think deserves to win in 2007.
Back here at Syracuse at the Carrier Dome, a lot of the West Virginia starters are still in on defense. Robinson, deep sideline, got a man down there, caught! He's gonna go! 20, 10-5, touchdown, Mike Williams. Mike Williams from Robinson for 61 yards. Penalty flags, however, but I think it's gonna go against West Virginia. Not a bad throw.
No. He had Johnny Dingle on his lap.
Pass interference. Number 19 on the defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown.
For 61 yards.
Play stands a 61-yard touchdown.
The playmaker, one of the guys on the outside, Mike Williams, makes a great adjustment to the football, fights through the interference call of Vaughn Rivers, and gets that 61-yard touchdown reception.
Here's Shadle for the point after. John Parker is the holder. Something positive for the Orange to take out of this game. Snap placement. And Shadle completes it. Not bad. 2 plays, 65 yards in just 50 seconds for the Orange. For Williams, that'll be his 8th touchdown pass. And Williams his 4th TD catch.
Well, you like the toughness and the determination of Andrew Robinson. He stays in the pocket. He's able to find his playmaker in Mike Williams, the sophomore. And he goes 61 yards for the touchdown. A tough play from quarterback and receiver, fighting through the interference by Vaughn Rivers. And a nice job by Andrew Robinson getting himself off the deck. He's had some bad breaks today, Dave, with tip passes for interceptions. That one goes for a touchdown.
That ends a string of 34 unanswered points by the Mountaineers. So if they can recruit a hammer type or a multifaceted type of running back next year to go with Robinson and these 2 outside receivers.
Yeah, and maybe they get Carter back, you know.
Yeah.
Devine, Rivers, and Sanders back deep to receive the Patrick Shadle kick.
Well, let's see what happens here with Shadle on the kickoff, native of Morgantown. I'm sure he's seeing a lot of familiar faces out here. There he comes. It's going to go to Darius Raynaud. They're going to do the reverse, fake the reverse. Trying to get outside contain, and a good play. Noel Devine on the carry, and a fine tackling play on the far side. Good job for Syracuse, and that was Damon Murkison. The big-time players, Williams and Smith, just 4 catches today. Taj Smith has not had an opportunity to really bust one open yet.
Yeah, and the difference between today and the last 2 weeks, each of them had 10 catches over the last 2 weeks. Smith for 254 and Williams for 180. Both had 2 scores over the last 2 games, so they've been quiet today, but that time Mike Williams makes some noise on the 61-yarder.
Just joining us, Patrick White had to leave the game with what we're told is a rib injury, so Jared Brown, his replacement's in there. Runs for 4 yards on that play, brought down by Jamil McLean with help from Vincenzo Deruzzi.
Big Flurry making the tackle for Syracuse.
Clock running down. Second down and 6 coming up. Mountaineers will be in no hurry now. Option, they get it to Schmidt. Good tackle. Double team. Good job coming up. That's Mike Holmes.
Mike Holmes.
Yeah, the freshman out of Jacksonville, Dave, you called him. Mike Holmes coming from that secondary, doing a nice job of taking Owen Schmidt to the ground, as well as Nico Scott from the secondary.
Minute to play, 3rd quarter.
This is where they haven't been able to get off the field, Dave, on 3rd down.
Brown can really throw it. He's got 3 receivers. Wide to his right. He goes that way. And off the hands of one and into the hands of another. First down, West Virginia. Wes Lyons is there for a 21-yard completion.
trying to go to Brandon Hogan, one of the freshmen on an out route. Wes Lyons was just clearing out, Dave. 9 for 12, that makes the Mountaineers on third down. There's the tip ball right there, the big hit by Holmes. And then the heads up by Wes Lyons, the sophomore. Good job of the tip drill used on offense by the Mountaineers.
Well, that young man does have good hands. 6'8", 220 out of North Braddock, Pennsylvania. Final 40 seconds. Nothing doing there up the middle.
If I'm the Mountaineers and Coach Rodriguez, I go ahead and take Steve Slayton in that fourth quarter and stand him right beside me.
No question about it.
You've got one of your Heisman hopefuls already in the locker room checking out an injury, and you don't want to lose both of them in a game that's 41-14 right now and counting down to the fourth quarter.
Well, that'll do it for the third quarter here at the Carrier Dome. Big East football. West Virginia 41-14 over Syracuse. And when we come back, a special treat for you. One of the great names and outstanding players in the history of West Virginia football, the Mage. Major Harris is going to join us when we come back to Syracuse. Started the fourth quarter here at Syracuse, the Big East Football Conference game of the week. Dave Sims, Jack and Jimmy at Syracuse Stock and Company. 41-14, West Virginia, the 13th ranked team in the country. Pretty good bounce back from last week's loss at South Florida. Who just joining us, Patrick White, rib injury. Out of the game, here's Owen Schmidt. Drew a big crowd that time. Got maybe a yard and a half tops, brought down by Nick Santiago.
Just feel like, Dave, in this game at 41-14, this Syracuse defense has been on the field the entire football game, and the Syracuse offense, when they've had their opportunities, they have not been able to convert on third down. They haven't been able to get the big play.
West Virginia's run up close to 408 yards total offense to 166. Here's a screen. Slayton, first down and more. Slayton with the acceleration, and Joe Fields angles him out of bounds. Big play. I'm still stunned that Slayton's in the game. Penalty flag on the play, though. 28 yards on that screen pass.
Illegal block in the back. Number 79 on the offense. 10-yard penalty for spot of the flag. Remains third down.
Well, it's a good thing West Virginia has a 41-14 lead, because the reaction would be a lot stronger than that. Greg Isdaner called for the foul. Takes 21 yards off the books.
Yeah, you get that screen on the outside, and you get those linemen out in front. Sometimes in space, they're going to have a chance to grab somebody.
Greg Isdaner, one of many Philadelphia area players for both teams. Gladwin, Pennsylvania, Episcopal Academy, out on City Line Avenue.
On the 44-yard line, third down.
Third down at 7 coming up. West Virginia's had a very high execution rate on third down. Brown's going to pass. He's got time. He's got a man running free. He underthrew it. The adjustment is a good one. Catch, first down, West Virginia. Tito Gonzalez out of Tampa, Florida for 41 yards. Gonzalez had beaten contained by 5 or 6 yards, John. And Brown could have really let that one go.
He really must have a cannon for an arm, because he waited an awful long time to throw this football. And as you said, Gonzalez had the cornerback Nick Chestnut beat by about 5 or 6 yards early on the play, but Jared Brown didn't find him till late. He goes up, and what a great example by a wide receiver to going up and get the football at its highest point and fighting it coming down with the reception.
Nick Chestnut's the injured player. Meanwhile, West Virginia 10 of 13 on third down. Hello.
Yeah, it'll win a lot of football games doing that.
So Nick Chestnut, in just his 8th start, he got beat on a long corner pattern last week at Miami. Set up a touchdown. Junior from Houston, Texas, Cypress Ridge High School. Tough position at any level being a cornerback.
Man, on that island by yourself, it's feast or famine most days.
And as everybody I've ever talked to says, you better have the delete button too. Give up a bad play, don't worry about it, go get the next one. From the 15, Slayton getting a carry, walled off very nicely. 5, he fumbled out of bounds. Good hit down there. And that was delivered by Mike Holmes.
That's about the 4th or 5th time we've seen, Dave, Mike Holmes come from the secondary and either make a big play or a big hit. He's done a nice job for the freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. You see Slayton going to the short side of the field. Watch it, the hit from the inside out. Good, solid tackle and hit by Mike Holmes.
First and goal. 4-yard line. They bring on Will Johnson, a late add, bottom of your screen. Schmidt's the deep back, working with Brown. Schmidt with 2 touchdowns on today. Brown's going to take it, lead by Schmidt, and he's in. Touchdown. He broke the plane. That should be a touchdown, and it is. So Jared Brown with a rushing touchdown. They have 3 rushing touchdowns last year. The numbers just keep piling up in favor of West Virginia.
We're going to get a good look here, Dave, to see if he broke the plane. Good read, good run read by the quarterback. He runs over Mike Brown on that time, and he was clearly into the end zone when the ball came out. Good job by the 6'4" sophomore out of West Palm Beach, Florida.
Some juggernaut, huh?
McAfee's key.
If you're hearing the jingle of car keys in the background, it's not an audio illusion. Folks are starting to bail here at the Carrier Dome. Extra points good. It's 48-14 West Virginia. Well, you can understand why Steve Slayton and the Mountaineers have gone into the relax zone with a 34-point lead here with just early on here in the 4th quarter. Dave Sims, John Kajemi, and Syracuse stock on hand here. The announced crowd, 35,345. Significant portion of those folks, Syracuse fans, have left. Randy McKinnon's going to take it at about the 7. Got an alley, lost the ball. Penalty flags. Big scrum. Let's see what happens.
Randy McKinnon on the return for Syracuse.
18 yards on the return. Like Syracuse has retained possession. Now it's all about the penalty.
Illegal block in the back. Number 85 on the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
So Josh Arrington. Maybe it was Mike Owen. Mike Owen.
Here's a shot of it, Dave. We'll see if we can get a peek at it.
One on the right. Is that it?
Couldn't really tell. It looked like it was a lot of bodies in the inside with their arms out.
Yeah.
It looked like Owen was the culprit.
Andrew Robinson still in there at quarterback. A run, Hogue. Oh, brother, what a hit. They got to the line of scrimmage and got stoned. No gain. Bobby Hathaway, second time he has filled the hole in a big-time way. Take a look now at our game-changing performance brought to you by Pontiac. How about Owen Schmidt? He scored a couple of touchdowns and then a little quick kick. Got it inside the 10. That led to this. Keelan Dykes. Intercept, turn it in for a touchdown. Syracuse marching in reverse.
Yeah, back-to-back penalties will put that expression on your face, and it's frustration because it felt like early in the game, Syracuse had a lot of momentum, had a lot of things going in their fashion, but a couple tip passes one leads to an interception, sets up a touchdown. The other one leads directly to a touchdown that we just showed you, and it kind of gets out of hand after that.
West Virginia not missing on many scoring opportunities, that is for sure. There's that speed differential I was telling you about. Hogue can't find the edge. This gets 4. Brought down by Johnny Holmes. Well, West Virginia's starting to work some of the second unit guys in, although Morty Ivy's still in there starting.
No.
Actually, they still have a lot of starters in there. Beg your pardon. Magro's still in there, and Dingle, Dykes, although Langster's at a corner, and Allen is a DB. 3rd down and 10 from the 10. Robinson, pretty good team, lost the ball. West Virginia had it. Mountaineers have recovered. So a fumble recovered by Franchot Allen. Allen a backup free safety.
And Andrew Robinson, Dave, just trying to make a play on 3rd down, 3rd and long. He gets pressure from behind. Charles Pugh again at his legs, and he cuts it up. Right here, looks like he has enough for the 1st down, and a great job by Johnny Dingle. You called it, Dave. That ball lays on the ground for quite a long time, and the Mountaineers finally fight for it at the bottom of the pile.
Johnny Dingle has tremendous speed. He's been involved in a couple of strips or near strips. 3 turnovers. And a new quarterback is Adam Bednarik. Points off of turnovers, always a key stat in any contest. Saw Adam Bednarik a couple of years ago in this game up here in Syracuse. He was the starting quarterback. He's been through various and sundry injuries. Hand off to Devine. How did he keep his feet? Holy mackerel. Look at that.
Still on his feet.
Holmes had to bring him down, a 3-yard run. Entertaining 3-yard run. Noel Devine and Deion Sanders tried like heck to get to Florida State. He's from Fort Myers, Florida.
Well, this is what he's known for, just making people miss. Only 5'8", 170 freshman out of Fort Myers, Florida, in North Fort Myers High School. He can make you miss in a phone booth, that's for sure, Dave.
He's one of those ooh-ah guys, because as soon as he touches it, that's what you're saying. Here's Bednarik on a 2nd down and 7. Adam gets it outside in the flank to Brendan Hogan. Bednarik, the name familiar, you bet. Chuck Bednarik's cousin. Out of the Bethlehem area, Concrete Challenge, Hall of Famer of the University of Pennsylvania and Philadelphia Eagles. Big guy.
Yeah, we got to watch him play the last couple of seasons in spot duty. He actually was the starter coming out a couple years ago.
You bet. About a 15-7 ball game a couple years ago here. He started tough rock'em sock'em game with the Orange. Might even be 3 years ago. The option, gets it to Devine, well defensed. Joe Fields, good closing speed. Joe Fields is going to play on Sundays.
You know what, he's developing from that quarterback he was a couple of years ago now to his first full year as a free safety. You notice he's a better open field tackler. He takes much better angles, and he anticipates from that secondary much better than he had last year.
6'1", 210. Heralded recruit coming out of Houston. #2 tackler on the ball club last year to Kelvin Smith, who's now racking up a bunch of tackles for the Steelers. Back of his head today, nailed from 49 and 23. This will be from 35 yards.
They may have too many people on the field again, Dave.
Was that Syracuse?
I think so.
Last time they had a penalty, they had 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, sir.
Legal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
I'm not sure if that's close to a first down now, Dave. It was 4th and about
leave him just
5
shy.
and a half, maybe.
I'm certainly thinking about it. McAfee just left. Here comes Bednarik in the offensive unit.
Yeah.
Going to leave him 4th and oh, geez.
About a half yard.
Tops. Length of the ball, if that. Oh goodness, it's right on it. It's like it's a couple 3 inches. So the Mountaineers going to go for it. We're just under 10 minutes here in the 4th quarter. In a steadily emptying Carrier Dome. And West Virginia going to take a timeout.
30 seconds.
Let's welcome in one of the all-time favorites at West Virginia University, the great quarterback Major Harris. Major Dave Sims, John Kinjemi, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good to have you with us. We had Donnie McPherson on a few minutes ago. We were talking about that game you guys played in '87. They beat you by 132-31. What are your memories of that game?
I remember going into the game. They was undefeated, and you know we was trying to make a name for ourselves at the time. And we went up there. We had a little lead on them, and you know they came back and they beat us right at the end.
Major, what do you think about the play of Pat White and Steve Slayton? This offense, once it gets rolling, it's tough to stop, and it reminds me of when you were playing quarterback. When you had that offense rolling, it was tough to stop it.
Oh yeah, you know definitely. Coach Rodriguez doing a great job down there, and you know both of them got another year after this. That's what's amazing about it. They just getting better and better.
Pretty amazing. Here's Bednarik going for 4th and inches. Taking himself, he just folds his way behind his right guard, and he's got the first down. Major, what are you doing these days?
Well, I'm back home in Pittsburgh. I'm coaching up at my high school, and I'm doing a little arena ball coaching last year up in New Jersey. So I'm just kind of taking it easy.
Good for you. Good for you. Got anybody? You teaching them some of the old Mage's tricks?
Oh, no, they handling it on their own.
Well, you're a good guy to have there because I'm doing the same thing back at home at my high school at St. Thomas Aquinas, and it's good to pass along stuff and be there to help out the guys, the next guys that are going to be, have a chance to take it behind center at West Virginia or a place like Syracuse.
Definitely.
Major Harris. Major, we appreciate you joining us, man. Good luck to you at Pittsburgh and coaching in high school, and I know you'll be following the Mountaineers. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
You bet.
Thanks, Major.
Major Harris joining us, one of the great names in West Virginia football. Owen Schmidt's name certainly going there. Pat White on the right. Rib injury. And he's done for the day, and hopefully he will be able to get rehabbed and be back for next week. Jock Sanders. And Ed Collington, there's Sanders, and he is in for a touchdown. So Sanders, another speedy guy. Freshman from St. Petersburg, Florida, his 5th carry, his first touchdown. And the Mountaineers got it to 54 on an 11-yard run.
Well, Coach Rodriguez says this freshman class probably is the most athletic they've ever had when you take into running back Devine, and there you go, you see Sanders sneak in with that speed, and Hogan at the slot, and Johnson at the wide receiver spot. They've got playmakers, and they're all young, as well as that offensive line. This is a young football team when you consider that Pat White and Steve Slayton are still underclassmen.
New kicker for the Mountaineers, and he does a nice job, Chris Glenn, to knock it through. 8:42 to go here in the 4th quarter. It's all West Virginia, 55-14. Contributed in a very large way for these West Virginia Mountaineers, 13th ranked this week. And they put up a big number on Syracuse. They're going to take home the Schwartzwalder Cup. Pat White, solid numbers this afternoon. 6 plays, 23 yards on that last scoring drive, an 11-yard run by Sanders. There's Ryan Howard on a return. Bottled up stayed alive and wound up losing yardage. You're going to give him forward progress to the 18-yard line. Good coverage. Emery down there on the top, and the tackle, Andy Emery. Let's take a look at our Liberty Mutual play of the game. And here's Pat White. An easy saunter to his right. That made it 14-7. And White, 14 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown on the afternoon. He passed 12 for 15, 148, and a touchdown before suffering a rib injury early on in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and on that drive, he had 66 total yards.
Here's Robinson throwing short and dropped. They're going to call a fumble. They're going to call it incomplete. Via Meta dropped it. Here's a look at how Patrick White suffered an injury. It was a good play, too, a productive play.
He kept it alive and probably kept himself at an opportunity to get hurt there. You see him getting pushed down from behind by McLean, and then Fields on top. And Pat White is a tough young man. He's a tough quarterback, and he's not going to come out of the game unless he's hurt. And he's definitely hurt. Maybe his rib cage injury or a chest injury or collarbone injury, something in his chest, but he was in bad shape.
Little issue right here on ball handling for the Orange inside the 5 as Brinkley recovers. It went through Robinson's hand. And you can see the frustration in the body language of the Orange players. Understood if you're trailing by 41 points with 8 minutes to go. Snap by Jim McKenzie, the center.
Yeah, not a good one, and luckily enough for the Orange, they get on it, but they keep retreating on back-to-back series closer to their own goal line.
3rd down and 27 at their own 3-yard line, and not much has gone right. Only scoring for the Orange. Brinkley a 1-yard run back at the 6:38 mark of the first. It tied at 7. And then Robinson to Mike Williams for 61 yards to make it 41-14. 2:10 of the 3rd. Robinson going to run it out. Does well to move the pile to about the 11-yard line. Mark Megro was there. Gain of 8.
Kind of a hopeless feeling for Andrew Robinson and Coach Robinson on the sidelines, because this game started, as we talked about earlier, it was a lot promising early, for the Orange. They did a lot of good things, but a couple tip passes, a couple breaks that go against you, and really the special teams of West Virginia did a good job early setting the tone, getting that field position where they didn't have to work very hard for their scores.
This is where you want your clock operator. Hey, could you get lost and lose a few minutes here? Rob Long, he got hit, and here comes the penalty flag. So Syracuse is going to get the ball. The major penalty, 32 yards on the kick. Brendan Kearney used to wear that number.
Kicker. Number 15 on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Charles Pugh. Called Charles Pugh's name in a few positive plays and a few negative plays today for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and the type of game this is at 55-14 with 6:41 left. You're trying to make another play just to get the attention in those meeting rooms and on those special team blocks, but that'll get the wrong kind of attention from Coach Rodriguez.
Robinson 5 for 15, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Work out of the pistol. Boy, the 2 big play guys have been totally shut down. There's Brinkley. They got stoned after about a 4-yard run.
For Syracuse, up close to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Dave, it seemed like West Virginia was able to collapse the pocket, and Andrew Robinson never was able to feel comfortable in that pocket. It was always a rush or a sidestep or something where he had to force the football in, and it caused 2 early turnovers, both on tip passes, but one went for a touchdown to Keelan Dykes that really turned the tide of this game.
Now they got to burn a timeout. 6:06 to go here in the 4th. West Virginia has 2 times out remaining. A long afternoon. And this has been more than a standing 8 count, John. This has been a flat knockout.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Syracuse stock. What do you have, Sarah?
Thanks, Dave. Well, rewards are always a good motivator, right? The West Virginia defensive coaching staff offers 2 T-shirts if their defense plays up to par, a 3-and-out shirt. If the defense gets 6 or more 3-and-outs throughout a game, they get this with Dominate on the back, and then a SWAT T-shirt, Attack the Ball, if they get 75% or better stops on 3rd down. And you can see these shirts are a little big on these girls, but folks in Morgantown, I think you can expect to see some guys that fill out the shirts a little bit better running around in Morgantown this week coming up.
They could be some popular items.
They may run out of shirts this week, Dave.
Yeah. Reprint.
It's a good problem to have if you're a Mountaineer.
Straight up the gut for Couple. Johnny Holmes makes the stop. In our conversations with the West Virginia staff, particularly Jeff Castile, the D coordinator, said, Jeff, you're ranked 109 last year. What are you going to do about it? He said, believe me, we've heard about it. We know about it. We're beating the kids up on it. Well, they vastly improved it.
They've done a great job in turning it around, especially that pass defense, Dave.
The Orange 3 for 10 on 3rd down. And doesn't look like they got it. They did not. They had to get across the 35 to the 36. Bobby Hathaway, another tackle. Bobby's had a good day coming in relief of Reed Williams.
He's been around the football since he left the bench and onto the football field. He's done a nice job of shoring up the middle of that defense for the Mountaineers.
Why not? 4th and 1. It's Lobdell. First time we've called his name. Oh, he didn't make
I don't think he made it.
Close. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. He lost about a half a yard. Who was the stopper? Bobby Hathaway. Boy, way to plug a hole. Bobby Hathaway, so they'll turn it over on downs here, 4th quarter. And at Carmichael's, Pennsylvania. One of several big moments for Bobby this afternoon. Solid game.
He does a nice job of rising to the occasion when we mention him, huh, Dave?
I'll say. 55 to 14. Last time Syracuse was in contact with the Mountaineers, it was 7-7. It was still reasonable, down 14-7. Once it became 21-7, 12:15 to go in the 2nd quarter. It's pretty much lights out. Devine got nothing there. Let's take a look at today's Keystone Light Always Smooth moment, and we take you back to the beginning of our telecast. And luckily for our own Syracuse stock, she didn't get run over. I bet you didn't know all those guys were behind you. Hey, honey, how are you?
Sarah did a good job. Your brother in the pocket.
I was for one of them to jump and tackle me. I think they were all daring one another. Who's going to take her down?
Good job in the pocket, Sarah.
I learned it from you, John.
Looked like your brother.
Outstanding. Northwestern. So Andrew Lewis on the tackle. Bednarek still in there at quarterback. Lewis making the tackle. But I think our spotter Brian Beecham for his work today, and Markel Harrison is in at quarterback. We saw him taking a lot of reps before the game. Russ Glynn on stats. Thank you, boys.
Great job, guys.
So Harrison trying to keep the play alive, and guess what? Not going to work. Lost about 5. Ben Maljevic, I believe that's the first time we've called his name.
Markel, that's a tough situation to go into. You've sat all game. You run in and you're supposed to pump a pass and try to make something happen on your own. with an orange angry 11 coming at you.
5'8", 180 out of Scotts Plains, New Jersey, suburban New York. Senior getting a little action.
Mountaineers just letting this time clock wind down, probably take the 5-yard penalty and then pooch it down close to the orange end zone.
So Rich Rodriguez has that career win number 100 in his hip pocket.
Delay on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
There, Richie. It's hot here in the Carrier Dome. There's no air conditioning here. That's why Richie's got the towel. It's hot.
Yeah, he was hot last week because of different reasons in that loss to South Florida. You know, turning the football over so much. He says, you know, talking with him this week, we do a good job of not beating ourselves. Last week, we beat ourselves. And, you know, and that's one of the things he wanted to get corrected right away.
So it's 71 degrees inside here. Here's McAfee. Gets into it. Takes a Syracuse upfield bounce. Not one of his great hang time efforts. Only 3-6 on a 22-yard punt. He's trying to get it down inside the 20. Back with more after this. The Newhouse 3 School of Communications. It's a beauty. And where some of the great communicators will be coming out of there in future generations. Syracuse really does a great job hanging its hat on the Newhouse School of Communications, among others, here in central New York. Doug Hogue up the middle. Cameron Dantley is in at quarterback. The name should be familiar. He's out of Silver Spring, Maryland. Yes, he is the son of Basketball Hall of Famer Adrian Dantley. Number 2 for the Orange.
Good looking athlete, 6'1", 218 on the season. 15 yards and a touchdown.
If he lets one fly here, 2nd down and 8. Less than 90 seconds to go. Hogue took some punishment, crossing the 30 to the 32. Pat Lazier makes a stop. Good news, clock continues to run.
Mountaineers looking ahead. They've got to get back on track. They did that today against Syracuse, coming back from that loss last week in a tough game on the road at South Florida. Their biggest worry right now is their quarterback, Pat White.
Sure. Well, hopefully. He recovered from the thigh bruise. Obviously, the training staff did a great job to get him ready. I'll have to do it again. There's a pass out to Fiametta. And he picks up the 1st down. We take a look now at the Verizon Wireless MVP of the game. And it's that man, Owen Schmidt. 70 total yards, couple of touchdowns, and a 27-yard quick kick.
Nice job by Owen. Got in on a 1-yard run and a 7-yard run to start the scoring for Rich Rodriguez and his Mountaineer offense. And they've taken control since.
Should be the final play. Ball's loose. And that will do it. Congratulations to Rich Rodriguez, career win number 100. No doubt about her. 55-14. The Mountaineers will take home the Schwartzwalder Cup once again. Six consecutive wins against the Syracuse Orange. The 9th win here for West Virginia in 26 outings. And this one, it was close at 7-7, then it got away in a big way, and it turned into a rout of major proportions.
And West Virginia, Dave, really did what they wanted to do coming into today's game. They wanted to get rid of that loss, that bad taste from the South Florida game. They come back in and they were really executing on offense. Their running game looked great with Pat White and Slayton and Owen Schmidt. A couple big plays on the outside by Darius Reynard, and Wes Lyons made a couple catches. Jock Sanders gets into the end zone late. Jared Brown comes in again in consecutive games because of the injury to Pat White and does a nice job. So the defense held up. Offensively, they did well, and special teams set the tone early.
Look at Garrett Ford, gentleman with the gold shirt on, a great running back in the mid-60s. And let's go down to Syracuse. She's got Rich Rodriguez.
Thanks, guys. Coach, tight at the start. What was the key to opening up that game?
Well, we need to execute offensively and get some rhythm, which we were able to do early, and that gave our guys some confidence, and they got to be able to have a little bit of fun with that. Although our defense played outstanding, it was the first time we had scored in a couple years defensively, and that was the big play in the game.
Keelan Dykes gets that first pick for you on the D-line. What does it mean to you to have your defensive guys really step up and really create some?
Our D-line did an outstanding job. They batted some balls down. They put some pressure and got a hand in the face, and really we're making plays. All we gave up was a couple big plays there, one at the end. But I thought our guys were focused all week and they were ready for this game.
Coach, unfortunately, question mark going into this game, and now again, what's the status of Pat White?
I think Pat just strained a muscle. I don't know if he got hit on it or he just twisted a little bit with it, but we got an open week and he should be fine.
I got to say it. I know you're going to say you don't care, but 100 career wins, how does that feel?
Well, it feels great, but there's I haven't made one play in those 100 wins, so it all goes out to the players.
And last thing, next up for you is a bye week, so you got 2 weeks. What does that do to the state of your team?
Well, we've had 6 games, I think, in 36 days, so it'll give us a chance to get a break a little bit, work on our fundamentals, and get ready for the last half of the season.
All right, Coach, good luck. Dave, back up to you guys.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. Rich, thank you. Congratulations on win number 100. And this, the bye week is going to be huge because Pat White was able to recover and recovered nicely in a week's time since the loss to South Florida. So he should be hopefully in fine shape when they tee it up again.
Well, he's walking awful gingerly to that clubhouse, to the locker room, Pat White, and he looks like he's in pain. You know, yeah. It's one of those injuries where you know something's wrong and you don't know what it is, but you know you're hurting an awful lot. And this is the guy, this is a tough athlete. He can take a lot of pain, and he proved it coming out today playing with that thigh bruise. It looked like he didn't show any bad form from it, but this one looks like it hurts a little bit more.
Let's go down to Sarah again. She's got Owen Schmidt.
Thanks, guys. Our player of the game, Owen Schmidt, 2 rushing touchdowns. What do you think? I mean, Coach Rodriguez talked earlier this week about offensive execution and paying attention to detail. What was the difference today in this game?
Oh, just execution. I mean, we came out there and, you know, got things done. We did what we had to do. We kept the game plan pretty simple and just made sure we executed.
We were told you could do it all, but I didn't know that you could kick, too.
Yeah, that's a little play we put in just for, like, obviously close situations to kind of throw them off guard. But I think I got gypped a little bit. I don't know if Darius touched it. Well.
Right now, 1-1 in the Big East. What did this win do for your team's confidence?
Huge. I mean, coming off a bad loss last week and getting back on track to, you know, what we need to do. And it just, you know, it brings us back. And it's a good, you know, solid win for us. So, you know, now we'll have our bye week, regroup, get healthy, and the rest of the season.
Great win, Owen. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Hey, thank you.
Dave, back up to you guys.
Sarah, thank you. Thank you, Owen. Good stuff. Owen Schmidt with a quick kick today. Boy, you don't expect a guy that a lot of guys would say he looks like a field house on legs. And coming downhill. It does a great job. Fun kid, fun to watch. And he can punt now, so that's an added dimension to his game. But he'll be in store for another huge ovation when the Mountaineers go home. They don't tee it up again until the 20th of October against the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and in conference on the 27th at Rutgers. Back with more in a moment.